What is going on, everybody? It is episode 670 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I'm here once again with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Brett is scrambling right now. I hope you guys missed us yesterday. There was, unfortunately, a technical difficulty that prevented us from doing the show as normal. But we're back today. Maybe we should put up a poll asking the audience.
That poll is already up.
It is?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see the results
I
later. I don't know. I didn't think you listened to me. But today is a special episode, and I know we're going to have a ton of fun because we have special guests from Force of Light Entertainment.
Who should we start with? Natalie, say hi to everybody.
The pressure is on.
Hello, everybody. I just want to say it is a pleasure to be here, and thank you, Brett and Mary, for inviting us. It's kind of surreal, actually, so thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. We're happy to have you guys.
We did this because she said she was nervous beforehand, and the best way is to just throw them into the deep end. Right to the deep end of the pool.
That's right.
We're not gentle parenting our guests.
No, not at all.
And Michelle.
Yes, excited to be here.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Doing good? Okay, so I had a story to tell them earlier that I actually, so Valiant Renegade put us in touch with you guys.
Yes.
Because I had sent them a message on their Instagram like a year ago, and I thought I got left on.
School.
I thought I got left on red. I think they just didn't see the message.
It's correct.
Yeah, no offense taken.
I am not. I'm no longer
we need to
offended.
find this by the end of the show. Absolutely.
So you guys are gonna have a lot of fun today. I promise you this because you guys mostly do a lot of movie reviews on your channel, right?
We do. Movie
So
reviews, movie reactions.
what's the most recent thing you've reviewed?
We just did a reaction. It came out yesterday to Blazing Saddles.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's fantastic. That's a perfect one.
Real quick, we got a 20 from Corey Anderson. Yesterday was my birthday, 43, and all I wanted was to spend it with PCC, and y'all were nowhere to be found. Such a sad, disappointing, dreary, lonely day. Also, Cat Turd became a MAGA gatekeeping cultist going after Tim. Strange times.
Yeah, I saw that today. It's, stay off the internet, folks. It's bad for you.
I'm not paying attention to any of that mess, but I'm sorry for abandoning you. We're back.
We are back. So here's the thing, Corey. The weather has been crazy out here, right? We had...
Damn you, Debbie!
It's all Debbie's
Tropical
fault.
Storm Debbie.
There's been power outages. There's been all sorts of problems. I apologize that we couldn't be there for you on your birthday, but we're going to be here with you today, so it's like a belated birthday gift to you.
Yeah, our audience is emotionally dysregulated.
Exactly. So guys, we have a bunch of stuff to get into today, but before we get started, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. We have passed 130,000 subscribers, so thank you guys all so much for that. Remember to share these videos with your friends, your family, your loved ones, the people you like, the people you don't like, mortal enemies, everyone. The more people you share it with, the more people that share it with their friends and mortal enemies, and that is the best way to help channels like this grow. So thank you guys so much for that. And remember, as you just saw, all super chats $20 and over. We will interrupt the discussion. We will read those super chats right then and there, and then we will do our very best to get back on topic. So, what are we talking about today? Well, we're gonna throw you guys into the deep end of a less movie stuff. We're gonna get into it at the beginning, but right now, Andrew Tate and men in general are being blamed for an ISIS attack on Taylor Swift.
Well, an ISIS attack that fortunately
did not
end up happening because the authorities got to it in time.
These responses were so crazy that I broke my minuscule no politics rule on Twitter and posted about it last night because some of the stuff I was reading was so bonkers. So we're going to get into that whole thing. We'll talk about this whole plan and everything as well because we probably would have talked about it yesterday, but again, no show. So we're going to talk about that. And then remember, all of 2 days ago when we were asking you the question whether Jenna Ortega is based or not? Well, we asked that question because you should never get emotionally attached to any celebrity, and you should look at them as weird type of theater kids that you judge based on comments, because now what she's saying is that she learned how to be confident by walking with the confidence of a mediocre white man. So she's literally me. She's literally me, guys. So we're going to go into that. I think she's smarter than your average celebrity. She's definitely better spoken, which is why she gets away with it. So we're going to discuss it. We're also going to talk about how Mean Girl Blake Lively ruined the whole set for some Colleen Hoover movie that I had never heard of.
It ends with us.
Yes, by her and her husband staging a coup against the star of the movie who bought the rights to it back in 2019. And then also the BAFTAs said, stay in your lane, non-binary people. You're not allowed to have your own movie category. You get to pick either male or female.
Pick a lane, queers.
Pick a lane. That's literally what I said to Maria. I wouldn't have said that live, but thank you.
Well, it's not a slur. They reclaimed it.
Yes, that is
So
true.
it's not a slur.
We got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. So if you ladies are ready, it's not Woman Wednesday, it's Woman Friday.
Well, it's Female Friday.
Female Friday.
Yeah.
So if you ladies are ready, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Ready?
Let's do this.
All right. First things first. Are you guys going to see Borderlands?
No.
No. Okay. That's a good idea. Because look, I was
That's great.
We were going to go see it, and we decided not to, and we were right in not choosing to do so because it debuted, guys, with 0% on Rotten Tomatoes before being unceremoniously raised to 4% by Grace Randolph.
Well, I'm looking at the current scores. They have 6% from critics and 51% from audience, which even that is generous. And Grace Randolph's review was like, if you like Kate Blanchett, like maybe go see it, but otherwise I would not waste my money.
Look, I want to point out that I am the only person on earth that likes Grace Randolph's voice. It's just me, so I'm okay with this.
That's kind of sweet, though.
So, yeah. Look, you said that they took the tweet down that was mentioning. It wasn't her that took her tweet down, but somebody else took down the tweet saying that she.
I don't know, but most of these reviews are saying that it's pretty bad.
Here's the
Like it sucks.
Why did anyone think this would work?
Here's the thing, though. To me, it's like movies are about as subjective as a movie review is about as subjective as an art form as you can get. And I don't care how opposite your take is to everyone, just own it because somebody's always going to tell you that you're wrong about your movie take. And they're going to say it with like their chest out and say it as if it's a fact rather than the fact that it's just your opinion on something.
Yes.
And everybody has a different reason for liking something. Now, do you guys usually agree on stuff or?
We often do, but sometimes we don't.
Sometimes we differ, yeah.
And we definitely say this year, I actually thought the movie Argyle was so ridiculous. I was cracking up in the theater.
We loved it.
I thought it was
Why
so
did they do better, you know?
I liked the first half when they turned her into the girl boss in the second half. It fell off for me. But the first half of the movie was so endearing with her being dragged around as the writer.
Yeah.
She wasn't, I don't think you could fairly call her a girl boss in the second half of the movie
Yes.
because in context it totally made sense with the narrative of how everything happened, and I didn't see it coming. And sure, like it's a little hard to believe, but she's out of shape because she's been living her life as an author for years.
That's true.
Unless she was a pro figure skater in another lifetime, I refuse to buy the end of that movie.
But that's where the movie, I think you either like it or don't. I just think Matthew Vaughn was just like, this is ridiculous. Let's be ridiculous.
It was great. Yeah.
By
I
that
still think
point, I'd
J.K.
already bought
Rowling
it.
wrote it. There was we talked about a theory that Taylor Swift wrote it secretly.
I remember
but
that.
we came to the conclusion that it was J.K. Rowling and that it was a kind of self-insert for her.
Okay, I just thought it was, but that's just an example. I'm on Toxic Film on Midnight's Edge, and all the girls hated it, but I was like, I thought this movie was I thought it was intended to be ridiculous.
Of course,
it was
yeah.
What's
fun.
another movie you guys?
I didn't see that one. I'll have to.
It made me. I just laughed all the way through the end. It was funny.
What's another movie you guys have disagreed on?
You didn't like Twisters.
It's true. But again,
I like Twisters.
It might have just been my mood.
That's true.
It can change.
What did you dislike about Twisters? That was a long sigh. I mean, if you could give us the Cliff's Notes,
I don't know. I don't know if it was my mood that night or it was very action, and then it was very predictable with the romance between the two of them. And I don't know.
There's so little of that in Hollywood nowadays. There's so little in the way of traditional romance that was actually one of the selling points to me, was that it wasn't.
Yes.
It didn't attempt to subvert my
It
expectations.
was predictable because it didn't try to pull the rug out from under you, which I can appreciate, but it was very corny.
It was corny.
It was corny.
But some people like corny.
If you were a publicist, you'd say, let's soften it to sincere.
Sure. It was sincere. Maybe even to a fault.
You could say that, yeah. All right, let's move on. So I saw this yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. The Germany Police Union proposes giving a year of free Netflix to citizens who turn in dangerous knives. of all the streaming services that you could try to be enticed by turning a weapon in, first of all, from my cold dead hands, they should be saying, come and take it. But really, Netflix of all of them?
Is it really that bad?
Maybe Netflix is the best. If somebody was like, "Hey, we'll give you a year of Paramount Plus," and you're like, "I don't."
Yeah,
need
no
a year
thanks.
No, thank you. Like, do you guys?
But what makes a knife dangerous versus not dangerous?
Not a butter knife. I have
Well,
no idea.
and I think my question for them over there would be like, what are they coming for next? Their fist?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's next?
Do you guys like watch a lot of streaming services, or do you guys mostly do movies?
We do movies, but like my favorite streaming service right now, and this may not be popular because it's technically Disney owned, I think Hulu has like the best content right now.
Hulu is by far and away the best streaming service.
Oh my gosh, it's
as
got
far as
great stuff.
User interface is the best out of all of them, and for me, not even the new stuff. I don't watch a lot of the new stuff, but it has all of the old Fox catalog, the back Fox catalog that is just invaluable to have.
I just finished the X-Files for the first time, and I'm a diehard fan now. So
I've got to
I
watch
loved
it.
Yeah.
I want to watch it.
The first 5 seasons of the X-Files are some of the best TV you'll ever see
Oh
in your
my,
entire life.
totally agree.
It's really funny because I put that on like every so often and rewatch it, and the problem for me is like I don't want to see it like rezzed up to widescreen. I want to see the old 4:3 versions of it back when it was, because it came out in 1993.
Yes.
Like I wasn't very old when that show came out. I like shows that haven't had, like, a lot of old shows don't have the budget to be, upscaled and then re-released in HD or re-released in a better version. If you go on like Tubi or you go on Roku TV, they'll just drop shows on there from back in the day, and they're not fixed at all. It's like just what it looked like back then. It's got all of the grays and the stuff's all blown out. It's great because you get the vibe from when it came out. Now I watch it, I'm like, now it makes me feel like I'm watching it on a big screen TV. I want to feel like I was watching it on a tube TV in my bedroom in 1995.
On the top of a dresser.
Exactly.
That could fall over and kill you.
Or those TVs back then that were like, TVs back in the 90s were like little art sculptures, right? Because they were inside of like a wood box that was actually like had to be made by a woodworking professional.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me feel
Because
like.
part of it's the nostalgia of it. When you're watching an older show, you that's part of the appeal.
I don't want to see it in a new version. It's why people don't like stuff getting remade. I want to see it was when it was old. Twisters, by the way, shot on film. Not shot digital. Yeah.
Interesting.
So maybe that's why. All right, guys. Mary, do you want to tell everybody what we found this just before we went live?
Yeah, the gay panic really kicked in for Joaquin Phoenix recently as he dropped out of a gay romance movie 5 days before filming was set to begin. A source telling Variety that he got cold feet. His role can't be recast at this point, and the crew is out of work. Losses could exceed 7 figures. Could they sue him for this?
It feels like it would be breach of contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It does.
You don't
He was
get to
just like, I don't
leave.
want to kiss a dude.
No.
That's like, I don't know. But why did he agree to it in the first place?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he was like, he woke up one day and he was feeling a little bit, he was in a good mood, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. And then
He was
came time
feeling
to do it.
sussy that day.
I'm imagining there's probably another reason for it, like something else. Like cold feet just seems like something that some insider says just because it sells copy.
Did he read the script and say no one goes full gay?
Yeah.
Someone said they should just put a woman in the movie and he's good to go. Just change it to a normal romance movie. And we'll be fine.
That's true. You could do that.
It's just Bros 2.
He needs to just show up to set and make it. Like, I'm sure he was going to get paid a hefty amount, but
That does make you wonder, like, what's the deal? Like, because if you accepted to do, was it a gay romance movie? Is that what it is?
that's what it lists it as here.
I'm just going to assume it's
else.
Bros 2 Electric.
Like if you accepted that, you were fine to do it. So what's the deal now? Like, yeah.
You think maybe cold feet?
It really must be cold feet,
He's
I
gonna
guess.
Do Walk the Line too. Maybe they just do that instead.
Yeah, this
Did you
says
guys?
they developed a screenplay for a detective love story.
Okay. It's not Matt Bomer in it with him, is it?
No.
Okay.
It says Todd Haynes and John Raymond.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know another thing? Could he actually, as a straight, because he's straight, I believe, as a straight man, maybe he was like, they'll get mad at me as a straight man for portraying a gay
Because
man.
that is a thing now.
That is
a controversy.
I don't feel like that's as big of
sometimes.
I feel like that's kind of on the way out. Like
Well,
that's,
I think
This is what it
more.
was. Speculation among the crew is that Joaquin Phoenix's exit had to do with the graphic nature of the film's sex scenes. The theory is confusing to some sources who reiterate that it was Phoenix who brought the project and its concept to Todd Haynes in the first place. So, I don't know. Pick a lane, bro.
Yeah.
Joaquin was pushing it further into more dangerous territory sexually. So he was the one who pushed for the more graphic
He
sex
wanted
scenes.
it to be more graphic, and they're like,
but then stepped back at the last minute. Like, was his intention to sabotage the whole thing?
Could be
from
it.
the beginning. I want to go with that narrative.
We'll have to come back. I'm sure more
Yeah.
will come out about this in the future. But that's really funny because now that he's as big of a name as he is. I mean, he was already very successful prior to Joker, but Joker put him in kind of a new echelon as far as his ability to control projects if he wants to, because he's got such a big name now. It'd be interesting to follow this because I'm sure more will come out about it.
I do love Joker.
Yeah.
I'll put that out
You
there.
excited for
excited?
Joker too?
I really
I
am.
am.
I'm very excited.
And what's funny about Joker 2, what I'm noticing with all the different, the people I talk to in entertainment, there's so many more women who are looking forward to Joker 2, where the men are a little more on the fence. They're like, I'm not sure about the musical aspect
Why do you think
Right.
about that? You think it's because of the musical
The
aspect
musical
too?
aspect, I think, for the most part.
Well, and the fact that it's not like a loner anymore.
Yes.
It's a love story, or maybe a fake love story that he's concocting in his mind that would appeal to more women
Yes.
than men. And it's like a La La Land, but quirky and edgy.
Yes.
That's what it seems like from the trailer.
It'll be interesting to look at the demographic breakdown of ticket sales when they come out.
You know,
to see whether it skews
2019,
male or
like
female.
people have nostalgia for pre-pandemic movie going, and I remember going to see this in theaters in 2019. It was a fun year, and it was a fun experience, even though it was a dark movie.
Yes.
And maybe I just want to feel the way I felt
I think it's
in
your-
October
it does
2019.
make you feel something,
like
whether you want
months
to or
before the
not.
world
Yeah.
shut down. Like that's kind of how I feel about it. That's the way I feel about like the election too. Is like just make me feel like it's 2016 again. I'm just chasing a high, but maybe that's gonna disappoint.
It's not going to
me in the
happen
end.
this time because the media's on board with the film this time. And before they
Right.
said that it was going to cause some
It
type
was-
of weird incel uprising.
Yeah,
Yes, they
it
did.
felt subversive to go see it opening night in
Yes.
2019. It doesn't feel that way this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that sucks the fun out of it. But
That's what I'm saying. Just the fact that it's you're like a kid. We're like kids. We're like, oh, now you like it. I don't want to watch it anymore. that's what it is. All right. So I said press X to doubt on this one at first. Now I changed my mind once I tweeted about it. So there's this story from Variety where Henry Cavill, he had his cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, I never
Where-
miss Henry.
Oh, of course,
she doesn't.
right? Well, of course, they spent 8 hours shooting the shot of him, where he turns around. And apparently, because he's got the cigar in his mouth, apparently he smoked that cigar for the whole 8 hours.
Until he was sick to his
sick to his stomach.
He had never. Okay, he had been inhaling cigar smoke. That's immediately you should not do that. I don't know why no one told him you're not supposed to inhale cigar smoke, but yeah, he didn't waver. He's a strong man.
The thing that I thought was funny about this, I tweeted about this. I said, where did it go? I literally just had it pulled up here. I tweeted about this, and I asked the question. I said, so everything Marvel does is fake. Everything they do is CGI on a green screen. There's this old picture of Nick Fury with a pistol frame, and the rest of it is CGI with markers. They literally CGI'd a red dot on there. I'm like, you guys couldn't have given this
Right.
dude a fake cigar
And
for
just
8 hours?
add like CGI smoke.
Exactly.
I like to think that Henry's like, no. He's like, no, this is as masculine as it gets. I'm smoking the cigar the whole time.
Do you know what? He probably said no because of the stash gate from when he was in Justice League.
Yeah. He
Because
doesn't
they
want the-
CGI'd out a stash.
He doesn't want a fake-looking cigar in his mouth.
Yeah, he's like, can't do that again.
Yeah, that could be true. And now a lot of people are saying that they think that he will end up getting cast as Wolverine, which would be the ultimate FU to DC if they casted him as Wolverine.
Would it
I just always take more Henry, so
Anytime.
I'm good with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anytime you can get more Henry Cavill on screen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you see The Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know about his co-star. I haven't looked into his comeback, but I mean, it was two dead sexy men. So I was like, I'm down.
Was that what was it? Was that Armie Hammer?
Armie Hammer.
Yeah.
It was Armie Hammer and Henry Cavill. It was just like eye candy.
Armie
the whole
Hammer,
movie.
he is so
He's
handsome.
so handsome.
It's unfortunate the situation.
He might eat feet, but he's handsome.
Look. He tweets about eating feet. He doesn't actually eat them. He's an edgelord.
That's good.
Right? Like,
that's good.
I mean, he probably writes fan fiction about it in his free time. That's what you should hope for, right? It's not that he's actually eating the feet.
And we all need an outlet, am I right?
See, the ladies they'll give you a lot of leeway if you look like Armie Hammer. Look, it's the way of the world, guys.
It's the sad truth.
It's the way of the world. If you want to get extreme leeway, what you do is you get in really, really good shape and, maybe some plastic surgery.
It's that handsome privilege.
Not to mention the fact that he was heir to like the Arm & Hammer fortune at one point, and then got written out of the will.
Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, he was
from a very wealthy family. Yes.
Dang.
They're like, wait, so he's rich?
They're like,
and
he's
wealthy?
rich and sexy.
He's rich. That's what it is. Like I said, they let you get away with murder if you're rich and famous.
When you're rich and famous, they let you do it.
I heard somebody say that once back in the day.
Told.
I've been reliably told. All right. Disavow and all that, guys. They don't let you get away with anything.
Never mind.
Disavow.
Never mind that we said
all right,
anything.
so let's talk about this. So, social media investigator determines the attack on Nerdrotic, which we talked about a little bit at the beginning of the week. There was this thread that went very viral. It was like last weekend, saying that he says naughty words and he says bad things. Therefore, he's a Nazi. Therefore, this, and that. That's the way of the world now.
Yeah, they've determined that this was part of a coordinated campaign. It originated from Grayson Minute Nerd News on X. His tweet says, Nerdrotic is a piece of ish that we've allowed to operate amongst us for far too long. A thread with the thread emoji.
Never trust anybody that puts a thread with the little,
Yeah, so I tried to read the thread, but I couldn't see any of it for some reason. But they did a little investigating into the origins and like how it got so much engagement. They said a deep dive into the accounts supporting the original poster gave a major revelation. So it turns out the vast majority of the accounts that were driving the thread to great public visibility were private accounts. It appeared without any doubt to our social media investigators that accounts with tremendous influence were connected to a conspiracy to make this thread as visible as possible. They're not yet disclosing what large following accounts seem to have been connected, but
it always seems so silly to me that you're talking about people that review movies and television and there's like time, money, and effort put into this type of stuff. Like that's crazy to me.
It's ridiculous.
Right. What did he do that made them feel so hurt?
He said mean things. He didn't like the movies that they wanted him to
he didn't like the new Star Wars show or the new Doctor Who. It's stuff that simple.
Like that's why they're coming after him in this way.
Oh, absolutely.
Where's the mercy as a society? Really?
That's a very good question. Also, like, movies and television, is it really that big of a deal? You have to ask yourself that question. But we know that studios employ bots. We know that Warner Brothers at one time was having, what was the producer who was having people leave comments?
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
What was that show?
It was literally a show that nobody watched.
It's really fitting that I don't.
It might have been like some of it might have been
remember.
about like the Perry Mason show that nobody watched, but got 4 seasons on WB. Or like
but
on
he
HBO
was
Max.
like employing interns to respond to hate comments and like clap back at them. It's the most pathetic thing ever.
Imagine you're a studio executive. You're rich. You're famous. Well, maybe not famous. You're rich. You've got influence, and you're like, hello, John, who makes $15 an hour. I want you to go and respond to these comments. And that guy's just like, how did you get here? How did you get this successful when you're wasting your time doing this?
Massive ego problems.
Like, do you guys reply back to? I bet. Do you guys get a lot of negative comments?
We get some.
Yeah.
We definitely get some because that's what you're saying. Like people get like you would. Okay, if you don't like something that someone loves, you would think that you like came after their child.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like they get very angry sometimes. So I can only imagine what Gary gets.
This happens because I like a lot of times I like things that people don't like, and then they get very, very angry. Or I tell them that Batman Begins is a better movie than The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I'm very mad when I say that. My opinion. I'm not stating it as fact, but they get very upset by that. But it's weird
They
because
do.
I consider that to be more, that should be more low stakes, right?
Yes.
It's the trope of two
It should
dudes in a
be.
comic book shop arguing about who would win, Deadpool or Deathstroke.
Yeah.
That should stay good-natured, and it shouldn't turn into
Yes.
like, you're a member of the alt-right and you're a Yahtzee because you liked or disliked
You're an
some movie.
alt-right Yahtzee.
Oh, it does. Like we'll get like Trump supporters, and it's like we were watching a movie.
Yeah.
We're like,
You guys keep things very apolitical from what I can tell on
Yes,
your channel.
definitely.
So, like, that's a choice, I'm assuming.
yeah, because for the most part, when we're just watching a movie and stuff, it should be again, I think that's been an issue in entertainment. Entertainment
Right.
should be something that it's like that place where we all could disagree on politics, but we can come be entertained together. We can go to a sporting event and cheer
And
together.
everybody's welcome.
Everyone's
and should
that's-
feel welcome.
That's the way it should feel, and it just sadly since 2016, Hollywood kind of went a different route. But for the most part, yeah, like we're watching a movie, so
Right.
we're not talking politics.
It's really weird how, but some people, to them, that is their politics, right? They're really, really into entertainment that way,
It's
and then when
true.
you disagree with them, they find that crazy.
Oh, yeah,
For
they get
instance,
upset.
they're taking me to task in the chat right now because of my Batman take.
Cry.
It's the emoji.
Cry harder.
It's the meme of the guy standing up and declaring it to the painting.
I mean,
Yes.
inwardly, I was like, he's wrong on that, but
But you were going to say.
I wasn't gonna, because like on our channel, we always say that, like, you're welcome to disagree. Like, just do it
And we'll say,
respectfully.
you know, and if it's something like, say, we don't love or I didn't love, but like if you love it, I love that for you, and I
Yeah.
genuinely mean it.
We could use more of that.
We
We could use more
Yeah,
of
like
that.
like
Just
if
in
people
general.
if people go see a movie, I'm like, I didn't like it, but if you do, I hope you do, because who wants to waste $15 to not like something?
Yeah. And way more than that once you've bought everything else, and it's
That's why it
expensive.
feels like a moral duty for me when I dislike a movie. I need to tell people.
You're like, don't do it.
Nothing makes Mary happier
So I'm
than telling
actually
you she
saving
doesn't like
them
something.
the
true.
inconvenience.
Mary, they likely weren't going to spend the money on that anyways. But Deadpool and Wolverine, I guess they probably were going to spend the money on anyways. But me
Yeah.
and Mary disagreed on Deadpool and Wolverine. We disagreed on what? Frozen Empire?
Is there anything that we don't disagree on?
No, not much.
I mean,
Hold on, who liked Frozen Empire?
Yeah.
I did.
I hated it.
Liked
I
is
hated it.
Okay.
liked is a strong word.
It was okay.
I liked Afterlife far more.
Yes.
It didn't need Frozen Empire didn't need to be made.
No, I actually liked Afterlife quite a bit.
I mean, especially the ending, but you can
Yeah.
only do that ending once.
Yes.
And there was really nowhere to take the story after that. But like I said, I go to a movie, and I'm usually more easily pleased than Mary is.
Here's what I will give the new one, Frozen Empire. They at least were still respectful to the original characters, to where it really was just kind of a bad, convoluted script. Like if they came out with another one, but it was good, like I'd go see it, because
the original, I mean, Frozen Empire was meh, but McKenna Grace was the best part of Afterlife.
Oh,
and
she was so good.
She carried the movie on her shoulders,
Yes.
and they didn't really give her the opportunity to do that in the sequel because there was 90,000 characters.
oh my, yeah, like Finn Wolfhard, his whole thing was just like he was just trying to.
He just got lost. in
He
the
just
plot.
his whole plot was just catching Slimer. That was it.
Right.
That was all they
Yeah.
had for him to do.
He's
Like, I
just
don't
going to
even
show
know.
up to play Finn Wolfhard and everything, though, now. He'll do that forever. He'll make a long career doing that.
He will.
All right, so again, guys, your hot takes are fine, but you should not have coordinated attacks coming after you, because that's weird. It's kind of like how they're calling J.D. Vance weird. You're weird.
It is weird behavior, and you
weird
should be
behavior.
shamed for it.
All right.
And you know what? I'm a little weird, and I've always been proud of that personally.
There's nothing wrong with being a
There's
little
nothing wrong with being a little
weird.
weird.
Which is why I think that tactic that they're using now won't work.
Well, and it's so juvenile. Like, as you were just saying, it's like they should, JD Vance should almost just go full Clueless. Ooh, as if. Like, it's just like, it's just stupid.
He should. Hey, maybe he could get, what's her name, to campaign for him.
Stacey Dash?
Stacey Dash.
Actually, that might work.
That would be a
I know
vibe.
she's a Trump supporter,
Yeah.
so
That would be a vibe.
yeah, that would be a vibe.
like totally.
yeah, totally.
All right, let's move on then, shall we? So, guys, a man is suing this. How does he have the money for all this? He's not just suing TikTok. He's suing Reddit, YouTube, Meta for being too addictive.
Yeah, he said in his lawsuit that it lowered his productivity and also gave him negative views toward his body image after he started using social media in 2015.
It's very feminine of him.
So he's suing Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube because they're designed to increase dopamine and get users addicted. Did you just learn? Like, were you born yesterday?
Just yesterday. Do you guys find yourself going through like periods of time where you're like using social media more and then you pull
Yes.
back? Yeah.
The last 2 weeks.
A lot more, or a lot less.
A lot more.
Why?
Well, we had some big shakeups in the political
Yeah.
scheme.
Yeah.
I'm well known on my Twitter for whenever something world ending is going on, I'm posting about movies. So it's like Trump was almost assassinated. I'm like, man, I really like Battleship, that movie from 2012. Like I tend to stay away. Like very rarely do I wade into that. If anything, I find it more funny to be like, what awful thing happened today that I can choose not to talk about?
Yes.
In favor of something that will hopefully bring people together, or at least give somebody something to like. I posted about the Taylor Swift thing yesterday just because people's takes on it were so insane, and even after it I'm like, ugh.
You felt
I
gross,
felt gross.
afterwards
Yeah.
for engaging in the discourse.
But he must be new to the internet if he's just realizing now that it's addictive.
Well, he's 24 years old, and I'm kind of surprised by that. But since his claim is, I started using social media as a kid, maybe he wouldn't be to blame for that in the beginning, but you're an adult now, so you have to set limits for yourself.
I mean, like recently what I was doing is, so I was deleting X off my phone like on the weekends just because I would find myself doom scrolling. I've worked it out now to the point where I put it in a folder so far away from my main screen that it's just harder to get to.
That's what I did.
Yeah, it's good. It's you have to do that.
You have to do, and there's limits you can set for yourself. Like, I just have to say to this guy, like, learn self-control.
Yeah.
Like, you can do it, man.
Be like, bro, it's a little feminine that you can't. Just shame him.
And I mean, me personally, I deactivated my Instagram for I think like a 9 or 10th month period. And honestly, once I got off after a couple of weeks, I didn't miss it.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have one less thing you're like checking, like check.
What did you do like in lieu of using it? Where you just find yourself using your time more efficiently?
I think so. And taking less selfies. And I feel like that's a good thing for the brain,
Do you take breaks incrementally, or do you just kind of limit your usage in general? You're very good about not overdoing it.
No, I mean, I probably scroll too much. Yeah. I'm not going to pretend like I'm like the best at limiting my screen time.
Do you guys get caught on like shorts or reels? Like you'll find yourself, you're like, wow,
Not
15
really.
minutes have passed.
I do on
It's
Instagram.
Twitter for me, like doom scrolling Twitter.
Yes.
But
YouTube, I get caught with, but I like Instagram as far as it's all comedy skits. That's what that's what Instagram feeds me, is comedy skits and stuff that actually puts me in a good mood. YouTube just feeds me brain rot.
But for me,
Yes.
Brain, like it's, but no, okay, so here's the thing. I watch a lot of like gunsmithing or welding stuff. Like any like unique skill set can be turned into a very interesting YouTube channel now.
Yes. Mhm.
But then I watch like these soccer videos that are like people competing in like weird like games in like 1 minute reels. I don't even like soccer. I don't. I played hockey and baseball. I don't even like soccer, and I'll watch it for like 10 minutes, and then I'm like,
But you found out that you do like soccer.
no, I don't. I root for the players. I'm like, this guy, he's good. I want him to win. And then I realized I lost 20 minutes of my life.
It happens to all of us, man.
Like I got into deep sea diving. I've never had an interest in it before, but I started seeing clips on YouTube, and before I know, I'm watching it and people diving off the high board. I love it.
I just want to read this insane quote from his attorney. They said, in 2024, it's estimated that humanity as a whole will be using social media for a total of 500 million years. That goes to show it's not a problem for a certain number of individuals. It's a widespread problem for everyone. I am fairly confident, I don't know about you guys, that society is going to collapse before that happens. We're not going to have the electrical grid that long. Don't worry about it.
We'll have to wait and see. I'll be sitting there watching videos about interesting welding techniques as society falls apart around me. That's what's going to happen. Also, but I do want to point out, like when Mary first started here, she would just go downstairs and leave her phone up here.
And you were like, this little Zoomer really has a good head on her shoulders.
Like the cut of her jib.
I like the cut of her jib.
I was like, I don't leave my phone anywhere.
Well, that was back when people were here.
Yeah. There's actually people that talk this.
No, if I'm around people, I can't look at my phone. I can't do it.
Yeah, because you want to engage.
Yeah.
Because there's actually humans with you.
Right.
I'm the worst. It's like somebody be talking and I'll just get distracted. I'm like a 5-year-old. Somebody's talking and I'm like, yeah.
Wait, a new Coco Melon video just came out?
Literally, exactly.
Hold please.
Olivia will be like, when this happens, she will just say, good talk. And that's her limbic, that's my limbic trigger to like tune back in. I'm like, what? And she's like, what?
You've become an overgrown iPad kid.
Basically, yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
sad.
In a lot of ways. I've learned I can scale it back, or maybe I just got to be better at multitasking and listen and pay attention to what I'm doing at the same time. I just can't figure out a way to do that. I heard women are better at multitasking than men.
I've heard that.
I actually have heard that too.
I have no idea if that's true or not, but it probably
You have to pay
is.
attention to multiple children at once.
Exactly.
It's true.
All right,
genetic.
Let's move on then, shall we? We got, this is going to be interesting because we've got one Zoomer here and millennials, and we're going to ask the chat, what do you think Gen Z is watching today?
I'm not going to be the representative for
No,
Gen Z today
you are not.
because I know for a fact I have not watched most of these shows. But, you know, obviously the conversation around Gen Z is they're consuming more social media content and not traditional television shows or movies. It's hard to get Gen Z to pay attention to Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a quote from Anthony Russo recently talking about Gen Z's collective ADHD that prevents them from enjoying Marvel movies, which are, of course, high art, which would require such intellect so that they're not capable of enjoying them.
First of all, I hate graphs like this where I'm just like, there's just a lot of dots.
Yeah, disregard that.
Oh, wow.
Look, I'm a dummy, so I look at this and like point me to where the information is.
They found that when it comes to appealing to Gen Z, animated shows are a strong choice. They listed Attack on Titan, One Piece, Steven Universe, My Hero Academia. They're really into anime.
It's really funny because for
Fallout.
millennials, what it was is it was a lot of animated shows that everybody would then daydream about who would they cast if they made it live action. That's what it was when I was growing up.
Yeah,
It
but
was-
then you find out when they actually do the live action version, it ruins the charm of what you originally liked about it.
Yes.
Right.
So that conversation should have never happened. But as far as live action shows, they listed most popular included Euphoria, which is
That's a little
terrible.
scary.
See, no, that's an interesting discussion, Mary, because we assumed that this is a show that was made by a Gen Xer that was supposedly for Gen Z, but ended up being something that millennials were a fan of.
I'm
But
not
apparently-
sure if Sam Levinson is a millennial or Gen X, but
I'm not either, yeah.
it's like a show made by a Gen Xer to appeal to Gen Z that actually had way more success with millennials.
But that's not what this is saying. This is saying.
Well,
that
no, it's just saying this is popular with Gen Z. It doesn't mean that, you know, their prime audience is Gen Z. I think their prime audience for Euphoria is still millennial.
okay.
But
it's very adult, for sure.
it's incredibly,
Incredibly
graphic
adult.
in every way.
How old is the youngest Gen Z like Zoomer right now?
So the last year of Gen Z is 2012, so they would be about 14 years old right now.
Okay, so
The
they're
youngest Gen Z?
Yeah, they're
Everyone
not
under-
watching Euphoria if their parents are doing. their
Hopefully
jobs.
not, but these days
No.
you never know.
If
They
mom
shouldn't
and
be.
dad are paying attention.
I hope that they're not watching it, but yeah, I think for Gen Z, they would be watching Euphoria to like fantasize about what it would be like to have a social life. Because they're not partying, they're not
Right.
hooking up, they're not, you know, compared to millennials and previous generations, they're not doing these things.
Yes.
So maybe it's just a way that they can like pour their fantasies about having a social life into
They're like,
their
that's what it's
content,
like to
you
have
know?
friends.
And I think even Euphoria, I think they catch clips of it, like on TikTok and stuff, and they've been,
It turns into viral sounds and like the
Yeah.
makeup trends and stuff.
and that's more it than them actually enjoying the show.
yeah,
Necessarily.
and most of the actors are millennials too.
Yes,
so
that's
it's not
true.
it's not really popular because it's relatable. I think it's popular for the opposite reason.
Yes.
Even though I think it's terrible that they're fantasizing about living that kind of life.
Yes.
Obviously, I don't think it should be aspirational, but I understand the
Or
impulse.
glorified in any way, which I will say with the bits that I saw with the I don't know if it's drug abuse, like
Yeah.
but they definitely don't glamorize it in ways. I'll say that. So I appreciate that aspect
Well,
of it.
there's a way that you can't avoid glamorizing it because
True, because to young people sometimes it is. Like
Zendaya
it's
is
not to our
shooting up
brain, but-
heroin on your favorite show, and Zendaya is glamorous.
True.
Right? So you can't
True.
really avoid doing that.
And looked up to, yeah.
I think the worst part of it is that it was just so sexually graphic.
Yes.
There's a 20 there.
Who is it from?
That's
That's Stanzatastic. He said, "Can the guests say, who are you calling a cootie queen?" Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna say this.
It's from an Orbitz commercial.
And then he said, "Since I still have room to write, hey PCC, we got technical issues. What do you got? Felt healthier with no cringe from yesterday, but missed y'all."
Tell me about it, right? A day without cringe. Maybe that's why I come back from the weekend feeling so spry. Because Mary hasn't subjected me to whatever cringe she found that day. And that's why I'm in such
not
a better,
sorry. I'm never gonna be sorry.
That's why I'm in a better mood on Mondays. That's probably it.
They also listed Fallout as one of the most popular with Gen Z. I hated the first 2 episodes of Fallout, and that's where I dropped
Loki's on
off.
there too, which I found surprising.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting.
What about Stranger Things?
I don't think Stranger Things is on here.
It's, I think it's in a different demographic where it falls. I think I saw it on the list at some point here.
I think that's got to be most popular with millennials and Gen X,
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially
I think
because
it
it's
is.
about the childhood experience of Gen Xers. It's nostalgic in a way. But I don't know. Do you guys like Stranger Things?
Oh, we adore
I
Stranger
love
Things.
it, and I have a 17-year-old, so I have a Gen Zer, but yeah, she loves it. It's one of her favorite shows.
It just fell off so hard. I couldn't come back to it. And then
Oh, but it gets
they're
so
making
good
episodes that are
again.
literally feature-length films. And they did
It's cinematic.
Time
though.
out. Have you not watched season 4?
I don't think so. I think I dropped off after 3.
Girl, it got like as good
gets-
as season 1.
It gets fire.
Here's the thing.
No,
though.
it was like it was
I
a
find that hard
moment.
This
to
is a
believe.
meme.
Everyone will say it. Well, like I said.
This is a meme where people say, "Look, once you get through the first 5 bad seasons, it gets really good in season 6."
No,
it's like too much investment.
Listen, even like the critical drinker, he had bashed season 3. He was like, "This is a return to form." Like,
Right.
like it got good
This
again.
is how that's how a lot of people felt. Like Arrow had 2 really, really good seasons. 3 was meh, 4 was awful, and then 5 is really, really good. I love season 5, but I'm not going to begrudge someone who's like, "Yeah, I didn't watch all the way to season 5. 'cause 3
Season
and 4 were
3
garbage."
for all of these shows seems to have a curse. Like they just can't make it past 3.
Well,
Without effing up.
if they do, look, a lot of the great network shows, it's about 5 or 6. That's when you
Yes,
start
yeah.
running into.
like a
if
sweet
the
spot.
show is
Yeah.
the show is formulaic, you can get 5 really good seasons
Yes.
out of something by reusing the formula and then using variations on a theme on certain episodes throughout them. But once you get into season 6, usually like if it's a procedural, the point is like the rule used to be season 1 you remake the pilot 24 times. You just do 24 versions of that pilot, and then you can start branching out. But depending on how quickly you start getting into characters' backstories, that's when it starts to get convoluted and you start to lose interest. You start not spending time where the show needs to be spending time. I literally just tweeted yesterday about how the great thing about 22 or 23 episode seasons was great Christmas episodes or great Halloween episodes of shows.
Yes.
You can do that with 22 episode seasons or 23 episode seasons, right? You can't really do that with like an 8 episode arc unless it's dire to
Yeah.
the plot.
How long has it been
Right.
since the last season of Stranger Things?
It came out summer, and that's the thing. And
That's
that,
a weird-
Before
That's
Millie
what-
Bobby
I'm
Brown got
just-
engaged.
I'm just trying to sell
Yeah.
her to go watch it. There were 2 things that dominated summer 2022 in pop culture: Maverick and Stranger Things
Yeah.
season 4. Like it was
But
good.
like you're making me wait 2 years between
Listen.
seasons.
That
like that's
that
crazy.
gets annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's
Netflix
crazy.
Netflix has a problem like that because they clearly don't have their actors under contract to where we're number 1. You come back to
Right.
us before anything else, and I think that
Yeah.
is an issue. But I will say, if you're gonna make 9 episodes of that amazing of television, I'll wait 2 years.
Well,
Like,
they did
that's
the
how I
same
feel.
thing for Euphoria season 3, where they said they let the actors go. They said if you want to go work on other projects, you can. And now they're pulling them back in
Yes.
to work on it again.
Right. And
Right?
then it's been so long that they have to do a time jump in the show.
Why does
They're
Finn
not high
Wolfhard have a
schoolers
beard?
anymore? And why does
Right.
Finn Wolfhard have a beard now? It's getting awkward. They also listed Wednesday.
That's going to be a big
I liked
problem.
Wednesday.
I liked
Yeah.
Wednesday a lot.
That's going to be a big problem for the Harry Potter show on HBO. If they're going to do 7 seasons that are supposed to
Ooh, yeah.
represent 7 years at Hogwarts, they can't
Yeah.
why are the kids 30 now? Like,
yeah.
And I just don't get why they won't contract that like they used to do with, which is cable television. Like in cable television, if you signed on for whatever show it was, X-Files, 24, that was the first priority. You could not go do another movie. You could not do anything else. Your first priority as an actor legally was to the show.
There were
likely still
contracts
be-
signed.
There were
right?
contracts.
They will still
yes.
be under contract. The difference is they will air a season and then they will wait to see the response.
Right.
When
they don't
it's
have
network,
faith in the show.
When
Yes.
it's network television, they start a season and it goes for 9 months, and they can gauge audience response by the Nielsen ratings
Yes.
as it goes, and that impacts their revenue because advertisers base their their spend on the 18 to 49 demo. So if you're doing what they're doing on cable or what they're doing on HBO Max, they just go all in, they film it all at once, and then they move on. So what they would try to do, you would assume, is try to do several seasons at a time.
Yes.
But, what if they, you can't have them do 3 seasons at a time, because they would theoretically look different from season 1 to season 3.
But they're not going to have these child actors for the Hogwarts show under contract for the next 7 years
I
or
think they
more, 8 years, if they don't have faith in the show to begin with.
They will. I mean, if anything is gold for them, it will be Harry Potter. They've invested too much money in Harry Potter.
I've seen Hollywood ruin too many IPs to actually believe what you just said.
I think that
if you can ruin Star Wars, you certainly can ruin Harry Potter.
The worst-
even with J.K. Rowling signing off on it.
the worst Harry Potter stuff will do better numbers to them than the average HBO show.
I'm sure that's what they thought about Star Wars shows too.
The Disney is a different beast. I don't consider Disney
And I
the
will
same.
say that David Zaslav, yes, however you say his name, that took over Warner's. He's not Bob Iger. He's
to be fair,
he's not.
They did just write like a $9 billion loss this quarter, so I could be wrong.
Well-
I could be totally wrong.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he had to take over an inherited mess.
He's cutting a lot.
He's cutting a lot,
but
and with bringing JK, I think they'll try to do it just. It's not going to be a Star Wars under Kathleen Kennedy. I doubt.
we'll
I
have
mean,
to wait.
that's
Let's
hard
hope
to
not.
do. That's hard to do.
That first season of that Harry Potter show will be very, very telling as to whether they're going to get a lot of seasons of it. I do feel bad for those kids because they're going to be subjected to all sorts of weird political propaganda and be asked to have comments about trans rights and stuff that they probably don't want to have to talk
Yeah.
about at all.
Hopefully they're like, what's a trans?
What's up?
But they're child actors, so I'm sure they're
Like
being
a
prepped for that
transformer,
right
you
now.
mean?
But
Sketch Therapy says Brett is unrealistically optimistic. Well, the Harry Potter video game that just came out last year, Hogwarts Legacy, did really, really well.
that's
right?
so different than a show that runs for almost a decade. Like, that's such a different commitment.
I would caution because yes, the Fantastic Beasts movies didn't do nearly the numbers that the original Harry Potter movies made, but that wasn't the property. It wasn't the Harry Potter franchise proper. It was adjacent stuff that was not based on source material. Depending on how close they stick to the source material in season 1 and 2, you will be able to gauge how well the show does. But there are a lot of millennials that have a lot of love for those characters and it is a franchise that has been passed down to their kids, right? Like, it's not just something where it's the thing where the parents can be like, we can go to what is the Universal theme park called? I don't.
What is it? I've never been to it.
But the point is like a parent
just
can bring
Universal?
I'm saying, but the Harry Potter part of that park, right?
Yeah.
They can bring their kids there, and the parents and the kids can both get something out of it. So
Yes.
I think that there is a strong demographic across multiple generations that can make that show.
So it's just going to skip over Gen Z because it's millennials and their kids who are Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
Basically. I don't know, because I didn't grow up around anybody who liked Harry Potter because all of our parents banned us from reading Harry Potter. I didn't know anybody who liked it. I never liked it. I never got into it. So
We didn't either.
I don't understand the appeal.
Look,
I watched the movies because actually the viewers wagered me to do so. I just didn't care for it.
We've reacted to the first 4, and I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's all right.
So what they have to do is, like, right now, yes, Amazon ruined Lord of the Rings with the Rings of Power, but HBO did House of Dragon, and that show gets rave reviews and great numbers. So if it ends up being closer in adaptation to House of the Dragon, only for people that like Harry Potter, it could very well be just as successful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's doomed. There's a chance. We'll review it when it comes out.
All right, let's go on. What do you want to see? Cringe or cute today? Here we go. Now we have to do the cringe at some point. So,
Well, you guys decide. What do you want to see first? Cute of the day or cringe of the day?
Let's just get cringe.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way.
Cringe out of the way.
rational people here today. All right.
You might have seen this already. Actually, it got a lot of attention.
Yeah, you called this cringe. I don't know. Depends.
It's incredibly cringe.
I do, but it depends on your value system. I think it's cringe. But here we go.
These athletes are asking for your support. Simon Batts from Germany in 6th position. Let's go.
If you're listening to this right now, ladies and gentlemen, the female runner, is she a runner?
She's just some
female
athlete.
Olympian is proposing to her boyfriend.
Disgusting.
Thoughts, ladies?
Oh,
I just can't do it. I can't do it.
See, the only way he could have done better is if he pulled out a
man.
bigger ring and then got down on one knee and then proposed to her. Like he
No, only if like Tom Cruise like parasails from the roof and like brings down a ring and a parachute.
Yes.
That
He's
would
like,
upstage
really?
her.
You're gonna destroy my masculinity on the world stage? Is this like some type of gambit to have all the control in the marriage?
Well, for me, like as a woman, you want to know the man wants to spend the rest of his life
But
with
what
you
if he
and like
what
thought
if he
of it.
said no?
He can't say no because all of these people are watching. Like that's what I said about the other Olympics proposals. There were a couple of others we talked about, and I was like, you know, they really don't have the option to say no if they wanted to say no because all of these people are
pressure.
taking
I mean,
pictures and
let's face it.
it's gonna
if-
go
if
viral.
If you got proposed to, you would have no problem saying no even in public.
Me? No.
Yeah.
But if I had just won my gold medal and then I had to turn down a proposal and that became the story, I would be pissed. Because then the story's all about my failed engagement, not about the fact that I just won gold. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. You
does.
shouldn't do that to someone.
Yeah, that poor dude is never gonna win an
So-
argument in that relationship.
But did she like? I want to like. Did she buy the ring? Like,
I'm
you know,
guessing
how
that she
how
did.
deep does this go?
Like, is the question like she's like, look, the worst possible outcome here is like he's just can't make up his mind and he's really unsure of himself, and she's like, I'm just gonna make the choice for him. You
Yeah,
set yourself
that's what
up
this
for
seems like.
a cultural, like a relationship dynamic that will go on for all of the years you're married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And he's
think
like,
it's a red
sure,
flag.
I guess.
Yeah, he's like maybe.
I saw
Yeah.
people talking about like the pay rates for different Olympian athletes in different countries. Like apparently, if you win gold in China, they like award you with a mansion and like six figures. But in America, you make like $30K for a gold medal.
I wonder
You get
why
paid,
that
like-
is.
what?
And that's
CCP
for like
propaganda.
Hold on, I would-
years
I-
of training.
propaganda.
I would like to know what does the CCP do though if you come in last?
Yeah.
I don't even want to know.
Have you ever seen that picture of the
Bamboo
guy working
torture.
have you ever seen the picture of the guy working on the computer and Kim Jong-un is like sitting right next to him watching him work?
Well, no, if you zoom in, you can see there's nothing on the screen.
Yeah.
They took like videos in this like office, and then they were all just looking at like the Google search engine and like typing random things.
All right, so this poor guy, we'll check in on them in 5 years and see how they're doing. Right.
Yeah,
We'll see what's
this
going on.
does not bode well for the next decades to come.
All right, here we go. Cute of the day. This one is from Justin McDowell. We have people submit their pets here.
Okay.
Because pets are cute. This is from Justin. He says, hey, Brett, PCC Pets, hashtag cute of the day. Listening to this show and playing with puppies, the big one is Ellie with some of our 3-week-old pugs.
Oh, Nugget!
The little pug.
I couldn't even tell that was a dog in the picture until you pulled it up. I was like, is that a toy?
That is
so
very
little.
cute. That dog would not let is that a girl? She would not propose to the male dog if
No.
there was one.
Absolutely not.
All right, here we go. One more here. This one is from Tacty Platty. He says, here's the boy enjoying the new couch we got him to sit next to the wife while she dungeon masters our D&D game. He likes it.
He owns that couch.
Reserved for dog.
That's his property.
It's definitely his.
He's laid
he's,
claim.
he's watching intently.
Love it.
All right. Guys, you can submit all pets to hashtag tag me at Brett Dasovic and tag the show at popculture_show on Twitter. Twix, and then tag hashtag PCC Pets on there, and we will get it in the queue. So time to get started now that we are 53 minutes into the show, Mary. Let's talk about what's going on with Taylor Swift.
Yes, recently Taylor Swift had to cancel a few of her tour dates from the Eras Tour in Austria due to a foiled terror plan against her fans. There was a plan to kill thousands of her fans. They had chemical bombs and planned to drive a car into 20,000 of her fans before attacking with machetes and knives. This is allegedly an ISIS plot, and they found out more information about the suspects. They were all teenagers, and they actually were all hired as staff.
We have total issues.
Thank you. First crisis party.
ISIS attacks.
Terrorism. Whee! Yay. Okay.
As we say, we have tonal issues on here.
That being said,
Continue.
they found the second suspect was hired to work at the stadium during the concerts, which is insane. The two men involved planned to kill as many as possible using knives and self-made explosives. Chemicals were found at one of their houses. A third teenager was also arrested. According to AP, he was, I think they were 18, 17, and 19 years old, respectively. So that's basically all we know about it so far. She had to cancel her dates in Austria. Some people are saying that that was actually planned and she had prior knowledge so that she could fly back to the U.S. and make an appearance at a Kamala rally. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen any proof of that.
I like the meme from the Babylon Bee. It says Taylor Swift private jet opens fire on ISIS fighters.
You know, that would be iconic, actually.
Taylor Swift saves the world.
she's like playing Bad Blood in the fighter jet, dropping drone strikes.
Bad news.
But some of her fans have posted some really quite insane takes about the motivations behind the attack. One of them said, "I can't stop thinking about the fact that women found the safest, most joyful place to revel in being together and dressing up and singing, and men hated it so much they wanted to murder them for it."
This is your brain on modern day intersectionality. This is the one that I tweeted about. I said, I read this and I thought it would have been great satire if it was satire, but
it was an incel terrorist attack.
Intersectional feminism and modern day Marxism doesn't allow you to criticize ISIS because of where,
that's Islamophobic.
It's Islamophobic.
Right.
Where you fall on the oppression scale doesn't allow you to criticize them because the people that they were, attacking fall farther down on the scale. So what it does allow you to do is criticize their gender more broadly because it's always cool to attack men.
Another Swiftie regarding all of the attackers being teenagers said, "All of them being teenage boys, we're so cooked. Influencers like Andrew Tate, Aiden Ross, and these alpha male podcasts have radicalized young boys into being raging misogynists and potential criminals. They're blaming Andrew Tate and Aiden Ross for an ISIS plot."
Come on now.
It is one of those things where you have to actually realize just how far the world, how much brain rot there is in the world now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Like
the things people believe. Yeah.
Like they all had hair too.
Like, how
all
do these
people with
people
hair are
exist?
terrorists.
How do these people exist and operate in the real world?
I mean, I guess it's not really the real world. It really is Twitter. If you interacted with somebody in the real world and they said this, that would be bonkers.
Yes.
That would be absolutely bonkers. It is kind of the sign, like I was saying earlier, like if you find yourself on Twitter for too long and you find it affecting your mood, get off and go do something else. Otherwise, you're liable to post something like this.
Yeah, there was also a similar tweet that I sent you about men wanting to rob women of female joy. In regard to that workplace TikTok trend, I don't know if you guys
I saw
caught this.
This guy, if it's the same one, has done multiple of these, and they're always really, really funny.
Yeah.
Should we show this?
It's fun.
Here we go.
Hot mom in a mini dress. Hot mom in a mini dress. Batty boss said no pants. Batty boss said no pants. Batty boss said no pants.
He did a great job. He even lowered the audio as he's walking in, so there's some production value on this.
Slater, whoop. Gen Z Slater, whoop. Gen Z Slater, whoop. That sneaker and road case. That sneaker and road case. That sneaker and road case. Red nails and a Stanley Cup. Red nails and a Stanley Cup.
my fingers until my eyes.
Jenna got freaking back.
Okay, we've seen.
He goes on.
It goes on.
This is his bit. I found it extremely
There's
funny,
another
but
one he does
this
where
person
he's-
said it should disturb everyone that men have such emotional, irate reactions to female joy.
There's another one he
Oh,
does
my
where
goodness.
these girls are like doing a TikTok dance in the middle of a walkway, like of like a street walkway, and he's just in a car looking at them like he's at the red light. Like, what the hell are you doing?
I mean, I guess, okay, they're trying to connect Andrew Tate to this because of his misogynistic comments, not because of the fact that he is Muslim.
Yeah.
They're totally
You
disconnecting the
can't-
fact that
yes,
he
you can't criticize
is
that.
of the same religious faith as the attackers. It's only because he is a misogynist that he has influenced the attackers.
Because-
even though we know no personal information about these people,
Right.
like we still basically have no idea
Yeah.
as to the origins of the attack plot or who these people are or who radicalized them. But their immediate assumption is it was the red pill YouTubers.
Yeah, like I doubt.
Well, isn't it always, you know?
I doubt ISIS is sitting around watching Andrew Tate videos.
I would be surprised to
Yeah.
learn that.
I would like
mean,
to hear these women's like her opinion on ISIS brides,
What is that?
like the women of ISIS, like the women who.
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
Like,
well, they just
who's-
have internalized misogyny.
Yeah, no, or
So-
no, they were tricked. Most likely, they were tricked into supporting something. But you can't actually say that's something because you can't criticize Islam because that's Islamophobic. But you can criticize men, so you can't criticize the
Right.
men for marrying them. You can criticize the fact that they're men, but not their religion,
Right.
because it falls higher on the oppression scale.
Also, after the shows were canceled, a bunch of Swifties gathered in the streets of Vienna to sing songs from the Eras tour together. And
Yeah, here we go.
my thought is, like, why haven't the police stopped this? They're trying to recreate
How do they
the
pick what
concert
song?
experience.
How do they pick what song they're gonna sing?
They're collectivists.
Is there-
they have a hive mind. It's the Swiftie hive mind. They go on, their brains go online and they
there
all
like
know.
Is there like a head Swiftie that gets to like disseminate the information to everybody?
A Swiftie Nazi.
Did they start? They probably just start. Did they start with the opener, "Cruel Summer"?
Maybe that's what it is.
Because at this point, we've all seen the concert. If you watched, I mean, I've watched it.
haven't.
It's on.
I have not seen the concert.
Did you guys review the Eras Tour movie?
We have it, but I saw it in
She
theaters.
saw it in theater,
Yeah, I saw it
yeah.
in theaters.
There's a 20.
Brian Bledsoe said, "New crisis actor here. I've watched a lot on YouTube and this has quickly become my favorite channel and
go.
turned on all notifications. Watched your first episode and it was funny seeing you all distracted by the money guns."
Yeah, now me
Yeah.
and Mary are dead inside, and the money's flying, money's going everywhere. I'm like, anyways, this thing happened today.
Doesn't affect us
Doesn't
anymore.
affect us
but
at all.
thank you for becoming a crisis actor.
Are you related to Dan Bledsoe?
I doubt that
Okay.
he is,
All right.
but I guess maybe we'll get confirmation one way or the other. But my thought is, like, why are you gathering in the streets and becoming public
A bigger target,
targets
yeah.
for the people who were planning to kill you upon thousands? Like, that seems like something the police
It
should
seems unwise.
stop you from doing.
Well, what was
But-
like, so is that like what did America do after 9/11? Did we collect? Did we all kind of gather in certain locations? That probably would have been unwise too. You know, this is Swifties 9/11.
Is this Swiftie 9/11?
This is Swiftie 9/11.
I know that we're kind of treating it with some, I don't know. We're not able to like take it seriously because of their takes being
Nothing feels
so
real anymore.
detached from reality. Like,
Does that happen to you guys? Like the internet kind of like there are days where I have takes where then after I say it I go, holy shit, I need to get off the internet for a while.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it's devoid of a certain level of humanity.
It
And
is.
but not because it's meant as something mean, but just my humor is very dark to begin with. And sometimes it just crosses a line and I pull myself back. Does that happen to you guys?
I usually keep myself in check.
Yeah.
I'm like, sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, that's me. Like, do you ever find yourself like worrying about like how you react to things online?
Yeah, well, I think that's why I try not to engage much, especially.
I'm not even saying like react like by responding. I'm saying like your actual reaction internally.
Oh,
to things.
yes.
Not like
That-
I'm
okay.
very good about not
Okay,
responding.
okay,
Like
right.
I'm always like, look, what does this saying say? Like, write a, if you feel really strongly about something, write it in a letter. Wait 10 days.
Yes.
If you still feel the same way, then mail it.
Yeah.
I take that approach to just about everything online.
I'm sorry. Do you guys remember back in, I think, 2017 when Ariana Grande's concert in Manchester was bombed by
Yes.
Islamic terrorists?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
A lot of people forgot about that, and it's been like eclipsed by so many other things in the news. But I remember that because of this plot being reported on, and I looked it up, and I'm seeing all of these headlines from back when that happened, basically saying that the people who were hurt the most from the bombing were Muslims.
Oh my
This headline, woman from Ariana Grande concert perfectly shuts down Islamophobia. Why Islamophobia is the wrong response to Ariana Grande concert bombing. This isn't the time for Islamophobia. Why Ariana Grande concert bombing hurts the Muslim community most.
They're always like, it's not the time for misogyny. It's not time for. Do they ever say like, this is the time for that?
Like,
Now is the time.
Now is the time. I don't think that ever happened. I don't think anyone's ever done
look,
that.
No.
Islamophobic attacks in Manchester surged by 500% after arena attack on Ariana Grande concert. Like, all of the headlines were focusing on the Muslim community
Yeah.
being the victims, not the actual people who were murdered that day.
Well, I mean, that
which
is
insane.
just that is the internet response. It's a her response. These insane responses that she had are just a microcosm of that. Not realizing that there's a larger qualifying factor to this, the religious aspect, and boiling it down to their innate sex characteristics.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they feel about the fact that she hasn't made a statement yet. Like the Swifties were, kind of pressuring her to make an official statement, especially because she canceled the concerts. She hasn't said anything yet. If I were in her position, I wouldn't.
No.
Especially because this comes just after the stabbing on her young fans as well in Southport. And her response to that was also attacked for many different reasons. They were like, why aren't you talking about this humanitarian disaster or that one? You should be addressing every single victim group in the entire world before you address this one, because it was tangentially related to you. So in her position, like, the smart thing to do is probably just to lay low and like stay quiet and off of social media. I don't know if that's what she's planning to do, but
It's just it just shows you the brain rot that happens if you spend too much time online.
Yes.
When you let
Totally.
intersectionality affect you that deeply, and you can't look at the story for what it is.
But back to your question, you said, so I get what you're saying now. Yes, sometimes I just have to get off social media, spend a few days off of it, because if not, you're like, is this really the way the world is?
Yeah.
And then once you're off of it, you're like, no,
It's not the way
It's
the world
not.
is.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like, what you're all saying. Can't talk, but you guys were saying, but yeah, sometimes if it's something that, say, because we all have triggers, if we're honest, but it's something that it's like, and you'll read something about a group of people, maybe you fit in or whatever, and you're like, oh, like everybody feels that way about me, and like,
You gotta get off the internet.
I gotta get
Yeah.
off the internet.
yeah,
Yep.
that's the healthy response.
And all I've got to say is, like, what is all the attacks on the Swifties? Leave the Swifties alone.
We've definitely made attacks on the Swifties.
But I mean,
We're
like,
guilty of
I mean,
that.
no, I mean like literal.
yeah,
attacks.
we mean verbal.
Yeah.
They mean
you
physical.
mean just being silly. Like,
I mean,
we're all
it's-
that. Yeah.
It's not about them being Swifties. It's that she's going to draw a large crowd, and large
Yes.
crowds are the targets of terrorists.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's that they're offended by female joy.
They're like, I
No.
really hated that first album.
I had to take a
Why did
guess.
she stop being a country singer? Maybe that's the real issue. They don't
Yeah.
like that she went pop.
They don't like her set list.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we're cooked, dude. Let's do some super chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, happy Friday, Brett, Mary, Michelle, and Natalie. I told y'all to bring the holy water, but you didn't believe me. The Cashman curse continues.
This is true.
Truly, Shane is to blame for our power outage yesterday. Brett Yemansis? I don't know.
Hey, Brett.
I don't know if I said that right. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Natalie.
Hello.
Hello.
Regular viewer?
Yes.
Yes.
Did I say that right? I don't know.
I believe it's Yemen.
Oh, sorry. There's like a US at the end, so I don't know. Yesh said, make sure Hannah Claire gets this. Okay, thanks.
Get what?
We will deposit your $1.99 directly into
Into
Hannah
her bank
Claire's
account.
bank
Thank you.
account. No worries.
Let's do 2 more.
Brett Yeaman said, lots of hugs to Michelle and Natalie. I can't wait for Monday's live stream.
Oh,
thank
yeah.
you, Brett.
Yes, thank you, Brett.
Gordon Shumway said, you guys don't need to blame power outages. Just be honest. You had a hurricane party with Taco Bell and Sheetz Tacos. Let's go.
That sounds so good.
A hurricane party?
Yeah, let's do that.
I don't know if that sounds good.
Also, big ups to the Brett before this because he's the proper spelling with 2 T's, as Brett's actually supposed to be spelled, not with 1 T.
As it should be.
As it should be.
That's right.
Correct.
Let's hold off on the rest. Let's move on. Time to talk. We've got a flip story on Jenna Ortega today.
Yeah, earlier this week we were talking about Jenna Ortega's recent interview with Vanity Fair, in which she condemned Hollywood's touchy-feely, political correct culture. She said that political correctness isn't honest, and interestingly, she was saying that in reference to her co-star on Scream 7 getting fired for her public comments about Palestine, and her decision ultimately to leave Scream 7 afterwards. But in the same interview with Vanity Fair, apparently she talked about one of the best pieces of advice she's ever received from a mentor. It pertains to her own self-doubt and insecurities whenever she is tackling a new challenge. And all the actor has to do in those situations is think like the average white man.
I wrote a
quote in context.
I wrote a really long response to what that meant last night and just deleted it because again my brain was rotting on politics. I said, what she believes is that Joe Schmo 32 Electric Boogaloo who works in a cubicle, right? He walks around every day. Okay, I can't use that language. He walks around every day as if he is the best, most competent person on planet Earth. He never has a shred of self-doubt. He walks into every day like he's Steph Curry shooting a three-pointer.
Yeah. They think that all white men are treated like they're the president.
No, and also that they all think that
and that they all think
correct.
that they are important.
Which is just so ridiculous and far from any form of reality.
Yes.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, she lives in a bubble, so I wouldn't expect her to know any better, but this was her full quote. She said, the show I do right now, Wednesday, I have to play the cello, and I don't play the cello. I want it to look real so that cellists don't look at it and call me mean names. My teacher told me that as long as I look confident in my movements and I was strong and stoic and fully embodied the character, it would be fine. She told me that I just needed to approach everything I do in life with the confidence of the average white man. That changed my life. That made me feel better.
So it's top down, right? It's coming from the people that are informing you as well.
She said, I was nervous even to do this interview because I ramble like crazy. Like, what am I going to talk about this whole time? Then I just remembered, how would an average white man do this? And he probably would have shown up with mismatched socks.
It's so condescending and rude, and it's just baked into the culture. Like they don't like I said, there's 40 years of Hollywood of white people making self-deprecating jokes and laughing at it. The example I always give is there's this scene in an episode of Arrow where Oliver Queen hosts a jail party where everyone comes up as if they're in jail, and John Diggle comes in and goes, white people. Like, okay, it's funny, right? But the point is that type of self-deprecating humor is built into the culture, and it's far more nefarious than a funny joke in a television show. It's designed to make you look at them as if they're some type of oppressor who thinks very highly of themselves without actually knowing whether that person you're referring to, because they're not talking about individuals, they're trying to, paint everybody with the same brush. And you don't know if anybody actually feels that way. I would be willing to bet that most don't, that self-doubt transcends race and sexuality.
Yeah,
people
just
are
human.
individuals.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's just human nature.
Yep.
Well, people were tempted to believe that Jenna Ortega is secretly based and she's actually against the Hollywood establishment and, political correctness that would go into that. But I just think, why do you need to like Jenna Ortega to like Wednesday?
Yes.
You don't.
Yeah,
You don't, or to like anything she's in. Why do you need to think that she likes you to like a movie she's in or a TV show. It
depends on whether
why do you need that internally?
Some people take the approach that they feel that celebrities that share values that they disagree with excludes them from wanting to watch those projects, right? It depends on whether you take a clinical approach or a personal approach to the entertainment that you consume. And a lot of people in this space prefer the personal approach.
That
they
would
don't want
prevent you from watching almost everything.
Yes.
Yep.
Pretty much. And even after that, even if you think that somebody aligns with you on your foundational values, you probably find out 10 years later that they were actually a terrible person behind the scenes.
Stop treating them like people. They're mildly interesting stories that you analyze and make assessments on. You should never attach yourself
Also,
in
like,
any way to celebrities.
We were talking about the controversy of Jenna Ortega changing lines in Wednesday because they wrote lines that she believed didn't make sense with Wednesday's character and who she knows this character to be. So she refused to say certain things and changed things while they were filming. And then we got a comment, I think, that said, like, she prevented a lot of the woke dialogue from making it into the final cut of the show. And I'm like, okay, I remember lines about the patriarchy that were delivered by Jenna Ortega. So how does that really make any sense? And I just looked this up. The actual quote from Wednesday in one of the episodes is, "Men don't know what it's like to not be believed." And then she also called chivalry a tool of the patriarchy in the show. I overlooked that because I liked the show.
Right.
But she said those lines because she agreed with them.
Yeah, the line she changed, I remember, like, when she gets the dress for that dance, they wanted her to say, "Oh, how pretty," and she was like, "No, Wednesday would not say that," and I agree with her.
yeah.
Like, OMG, I love this dress.
Yeah,
Like,
that's not Wednesday's character.
No.
So what it really is, and what I think people, I don't need. In fact, I brought up Jenna Ortega today, and I said, I'm sure she votes differently than me, but I have respected her because she's kind of a throwback to an old star that stays off social media, that doesn't make a lot of comments. And I think that's what's actually that helps her appeal.
It does.
Because it keeps her mysterious to a degree.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. I think it's helped her.
Bring
So,
back mystery.
Yeah.
Movie stars.
Yeah, the moment you got instant access to celebrities,
It cheapens
images
it.
I actually remember there was like a porn star who was like, "Why would you want to know my political opinions? I'm supposed to be a fantasy. You shouldn't care who I vote for. That's weird."
yeah.
Yeah, it is weird.
If the
It
porn
actually-
star is calling you weird,
If they're the voice of
Reevaluate.
reason in society,
Yes.
you have a lot to worry about.
but she's a capitalist. She's like, I don't want to limit my fan base based on who I vote for. That's
But really, like,
insane.
mainstream actors
Yeah.
should think the same way.
Yes,
And
they should.
Because
I think,
that's smart.
like,
Yes.
Jenna Ortega at least appears to have a measure of integrity above the rest of her industry.
and better spoken.
Yeah.
And
Not
seems
sa- like-
seemingly more intellectual.
I think she's, like, actually woke. Like, she's not pretending to be woke for woke points. She actually believes these things.
Like, she's genuine.
But that's genuine. That's
Right.
honest. And when she disagrees with something, she's going to walk away, like with Scream 7. And also, like, she just seems to be more intelligent. Like, she's
Yeah.
probably just more intelligent than most people in Hollywood.
Right.
Like, I can tell that she has a good sense for business, but also she's really talented at acting, which I can't say the same for Sydney Sweeney.
That's okay though. Sydney Sweeney is fantastic at business, and that's all you need to do.
Yeah, like, she's got half of
isn't
it.
the business.
She's got half
gonna
of it
be
down.
fine.
Yeah.
She's gonna be fine.
But, like, yeah, Jenna Ortega she does seem like she just has a better way of expressing her ideas that doesn't come off as, I guess, as venomous as others. Even though, like, this offhand comment she made about average white men did have, like, contempt within it. I think that she was just better at expressing it than most people would be.
They say that you should never meet your heroes, right? But the problem is you should never make heroes out of actors or anyone in Hollywood. There's a reason why, in times past, actors were looked at as the scum of the earth. If you were performing for the king, you were the lowest of the low.
Yeah. Like, don't put them on a pedestal.
Never. Like, it's
Why
one
is that
thing,
so hard for people to understand?
It's one thing if you idolize some civil rights leader. I would still argue that idolizing anyone you don't actually know personally is crazy. But it's another thing, it's one thing to idolize somebody who's apparently did all this great stuff for society, and then you find out they're a philanderer and they cheat on their wife or something like that. That's a little bit different. But in general, you should not hold somebody you can't actually vet personally in such high regard. You can tacitly approve of things they've done. Like if they've done good for society, but to idolize them is insane.
Yes.
We're all just human.
I will say for Jenna, I know back, like this came out like well over a year ago. The artist guy in season 1, the white guy, he had
What was his?
we all forget. He was kind of
There were two.
But there were two, but not the one, spoiler alert, that ends up being bad, but the other one.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, unless I read wrong information, she did, like an allegation came against him, and I did appreciate that she didn't distance herself from him, but took up for
Percy
him.
Hines White was
But
his name,
he was
right?
removed from season 2.
He was,
Right.
which I doubt. You wonder what control she had on that, but I at least appreciated that it wasn't an immediate
That she didn't
distance.
back away like so many do in
an
that
executive
situation.
producer now on the show, so I'm wondering if she did have anything to do with him getting axed from the show.
Maybe, because sometimes like they do that for all big actors, executive producer, but it's kind of a name only a lot of the times.
That
It
is
was crazy because I
on
read
network
into the
television.
accusations and I didn't see anything that was like irrefutable proof.
There was it. I
I mean, that
think.
doesn't matter.
It was like a
in-
rumor
That
about
doesn't matter in
his
Hollywood.
friend group
Yeah.
doing things that were gross.
Yes.
But her audience is uniquely online, right? The audience for Wednesday was meme heavy.
Because they're Gen Z.
But it was meme heavy, right? So
Yeah.
your audience is fitting right into that space where that story was promulgated the most.
Wasn't he also in maybe I'm just confusing them now, but he looks like the guy in
Ansel Elgort.
No, he looks like the guy from Hunger Games
Oh.
Ballad of Songbirds and
Wasn't
Snakes.
he in that? I thought he was in
no,
that.
are you talking about the lead?
Yeah.
No,
but
he's
but
not.
he looks like the guy, doesn't
He's-
he?
That guy's a decent amount more attractive, but
I don't remember. They're all blending together at this point.
but no, it's two separate people.
Yeah, never mind then. But yeah, I think it's normal to idolize a celebrity when you're a child. I just don't understand why adults do it.
Here in this space, I
Yeah.
think it's more just like in the political space, especially. It's like, look at this guy who said the one thing I agree with. Everybody get behind him. He's awesome. He's based. No, stop that. You're weird.
But also, like, don't boycott Reacher because Alan Richson is annoying.
Yes.
Yeah.
It goes both
Right.
ways.
If you
Yes.
enjoyed it,
Right.
if you enjoyed
Yes.
it, if you enjoy it, you're doing yourself a disservice by removing yourself from being able to enjoy something just because the guy said something stupid that you disagree with.
I guess
people
if
say
it's-
stupid
if
stuff that I
it's-
disagree with every day.
If it's a monetary decision, like don't give money to people who hate you, I understand that more than just like forsaking this person, like their entire existence. That's sort of a form of cancel culture on the right that I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean they would just call
yeah.
that voting with your wallet, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like I guess do that, but just stop idolizing them and stop
I
looking
mean,
to
Alan
them
Richardson
for.
gets the same paycheck at the end of the day. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
he's not going to be hurting for your viewership. Actually.
No.
I'm never gonna. But that's why me and you are pretty staunch about not being part of the boycott crowd, right? Because I can't attach myself that much emotionally to any of this stuff.
Yeah.
I actually find it crazy that people can.
Yeah.
That they get this emotionally invested in all of it. I'm like, I can get as far as like reading a story about someone, reading the thing she said, being like, huh, that's stupid. And
Yes.
but she's well spoken and she seems smarter than her average colleague. I can appreciate her when she says something smart. I can say that's stupid when she says something dumb. My overall opinion of her is that she's probably as woke, as much as I hate that word, as far left as any young Hollywood actress is these days, and move on with my day. It's not. I'm not going to lose sleep over it either.
Well,
way.
yeah, the whole thing is just ridiculous. It's like, I grew up loving Star Wars, still do. I mean, not the new stuff that we've gotten, but it's like, if you look online, Mark Hamill's about as bad as it gets.
Yep.
Like, it's bad, but it doesn't take away my love of him as Luke Skywalker.
It's never
like,
done that to me.
it's never going to do it.
Well, because sometimes you can separate, the art from the artist. Is that what this?
Yeah.
yeah.
The beauty for me is like, look, my brain is just kind of cooked sometimes. I'm like, I'll watch a movie and I'll be like, I remember that guy vaguely saying something stupid. and then I forget about it because I'm watching the movie.
And he's in
Right?
character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't care.
If you're a
Yes,
good enough
yeah.
actor, I'm not gonna remember what you tweeted.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause
Right.
if we did that with like all actors or all even musicians
Or
it's-
each other, all people. We're never going to fully agree with another human being on absolutely everything.
Yes, like I'll be honest, like I'm kind of a Swiftie. Like I enjoy Taylor Swift, but like people are like, how do you like her? Oh,
Like, how dare you?
It
how dare
doesn't change the music. that
do
you
I
like.
have to vote the same way Taylor does? Do I have to believe everything she believes? No. And, I don't. I
Brett's
just listen
in
to
the-
some of her music. Lay off. Like,
Brett in the chat mentions Robert De Niro as a far leftist.
Exactly, and he's a great actor.
And a
Heat
great
is still a
actor.
masterpiece.
Yep.
Doesn't
yeah.
matter.
And I'm always going to watch him if he's in something good. Like, it is what it is.
All right, let's read super chats. Corey Anderson said, "What do you get when you mix human DNA and goat DNA? Kicked out of the petting zoo." That's great. Okay.
Where's Tim Waltz in all this? Oh, that was a horse. Sorry.
Shane
Wrong
H.
animal.
Wilder said, "Come, Brett. The skating scene in Argyle is no crazier than any of the action scenes in Kingsman. What do you expect from Matthew Vaughn?"
No, you're right. Like I said, I was just taken aback by the turn they did with the character because it was annoying and predictable. And once I saw it, I was like, they could have told a really great story with her and was it Sam Rockwell?
Sam Rockwell.
Which was great and fantastic. And then they made it utterly convoluted for no reason. It didn't take away the fun I had with the movie. As an overall experience, it was great. But that scene itself just, I was kind of lost at that.
It was utterly ridiculous.
It's because of your hockey past.
Yeah,
It's
maybe
just
that's what it was.
really what offended you. Surenko Productions said, "Wasn't Joaquin's brother in a gay film too?"
Was he? River Phoenix?
Also, look, I just don't know if
know.
Sam Rockwell is picking up Bryce Dallas Howard. Press X to doubt.
He's strong.
Okay.
Okay, he has.
It took a second to
superhuman strength.
process.
Red
Let's
Snow.
do one more.
Red Snow said, "Mom and Dad are back. Praise be to Space King."
And thank you
We're
for
back.
that. All right, let's hold on. You're gonna have to explain to everybody what the hell is going on with this story.
Yeah, so Blake Lively is starring in a new romance film, It Ends With Us, and she's on the press tour for it right now. But the rumors are flying about major drama that occurred during the creative process. And allegedly, Blake Lively has just hijacked the promo for It Ends With Us in order to promote herself, in order for Ryan Reynolds to promote Deadpool and Wolverine, actually. And allegedly, the both of them took over the creative process to the point where they drained it of its original meaning.
Yeah.
And the director's name is Justin Baldoni. He was also her co-star and love interest in the movie.
I mentioned this because Olivia made me watch Jane the Virgin, and he is he is the lead actor in that movie. And
How did you like his performance?
Here's the thing: as an actor, he's married to an actress named Emily Foxler, who's also a performer. So I knew of him before that. But he's done like TED Talks and all this stuff about redefining masculinity and all
He's
of this
annoying.
other. He's annoying.
Yeah, so we can see why Justin Baldoni would be motivated
In the
to
show,
direct
it's-
a movie like this.
It's literally a show where girl says something, guy argues, they go their separate ways. Guy comes back later and says, "I was wrong," and it's literally that.
So
show.
we
I'm
know who we're dealing
I'm
with.
being very uncharitable in that, but it feels that way a lot of times when you're watching it because it's not a show for guys. So I'm just rolling my eyes all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
no woman would be attracted to this, but.
Well,
What do I know?
what's confusing about the promo for It Ends With Us is that everyone thinks it's a rom-com, but that's totally not what it is.
No.
And I have not read the book it's based on. It's based on a novel by Colleen Hoover, who is the biggest book talk fiction writer on grocery store shelves. But basically, this is a romance novel telling the story of Lily Bloom, a woman who has a traumatic childhood marked by her father's abuse toward her mother. She navigates her way to success, opening her own florist shop. Yes, her name is Lily Bloom, and she has a florist shop.
That's convenient.
Okay. She meets Ryle Kincaid, a charming and successful neurosurgeon, and
names
they
him
begin
in
a
Ryle
romantic
Scientist.
relationship. And she falls in love with Ryle Kincaid. She starts to see parallels between his behavior and that of her abusive father. And despite her initial hesitation, she tries to make the relationship work, but ultimately realizes that she must prioritize her own well-being and safety. So she basically, the story culminates with Lily finding the courage to break free from the cycle of abuse and create a better future for herself and her daughter. That's the story, but it's being marketed as a run-of-the-mill rom-com right now, and people are blaming Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds for that.
The coke-fueled Hollywood executives are like, ugh, like nobody's coming to see this depressing shit. Like, put a few laughs in there, guys.
I mean, genuinely, that's a good point, though, because like people don't really want to go to the theaters to see that dark story about like domestic abuse.
I said
they
this
want
to
to see
you
a
guys.
rom-com.
I was like, look, like rom-coms, like will get look. Some girls will bring their boyfriends or their husbands to the movie with them. The guy will begrudgingly go, or you go with a bunch of the girls, like everyone did for Barbie, right? Now, no girl's gonna get she's not gonna get the crew together to go watch a movie about domestic violence. Nobody's like, hey, you want to go get some popcorn and some soda and go watch this movie where this dude beats the crap out of this chick? Nobody's going to do that.
Yeah, I understand that she probably understands how to market a movie better than Justin Baldoni does. But this person said Justin Baldoni had the best intentions to bring advocacy to domestic violence, but unfortunately picked the most pick-me girl to ever exist to produce that film. Blake Lively is a producer on it. And she allowed her husband to bulldoze the PR and the writing. And they actually wrote scenes for the movie together and inserted them into it because Blake Lively is one of the producers.
I feel like this would have done really, really well on streaming as a movie or a show.
You're so right.
Like,
I could see that on Netflix. That
like,
context.
isn't it kind of just like Grey's Anatomy or any of this other stuff that they talk about?
But Colleen Hoover has a huge fan base, so I understand why they would think it's marketable enough to bring it to theaters.
That makes sense, especially when bringing book IP to film is more common, right? Well, like there was the whole thing about when they made Anyone But You, they wanted that for streaming, and both Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell were like, this is gonna do better. We'll do better in a theater because it'll get lost on streaming. And in a theater,
like,
it can actually make a mark.
Type of movie that you guys would review or no?
I wasn't planning on seeing it, but
now,
I don't know if it was wise though, just to try to. And I will say Ryan Reynolds, for the most part, has been a marketing genius. Like, he is very good at marketing. Like, he alone has made Deadpool with his marketing.
However, you don't want people to feel like they were tricked or duped because they're not going to trust you anymore.
And this is a big thing for movies like this, is how the trailer is cut does a lot of damage if it's nothing like the movie that you go and see.
I watched the trailer. I had no idea there was anything about abuse or trauma.
Well, and here's my
involved.
thing. Here is the thing though with women, as I was talking about earlier. I've noticed how many women are interested in Joker 2. Why is that? Women are fascinated by toxic relationships. Like, they are. So I think there is a market there. And if it has a massive following from the book, why not? Those people know what it's about. So
Which
just
is
go
weird
with it.
Because DC went out of their way, at least in Suicide Squad, to limit the storyline between Harley Quinn and Joker about the toxic relationship.
But if they had focused more on it, it would have been a lot more popular.
Which is the great hook for that story, right? Like, it's different as far as comic book medium goes. It's not necessarily brand new, but it's something that on the big screen it hadn't really been done in that way.
Right.
But they just chickened out. They didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
They did.
They cut down Jared Leto's screen time in that movie to like 10 minutes.
I'm sorry, but
they did.
I know.
This is just my opinion. I just don't think a lot of neurosurgeons and florists look like this. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
No.
I think if that's like, it's kind of like that meme where it's like when if your lawyer shows up looking like this and he's got the oversized pants and shirt says, if your lawyer looks like this, you're going to jail.
I mean, I don't think a lot of florists and neurosurgeons date anyway, but maybe that's just my take. Justin Baldoni is using this press tour to talk about all of the advocacy issues, which is kind of lame, not gonna lie.
But you knew that given all the TED Talks he's done and the fact that he started that was going to be
He's a good male feminist and he cares about advocating for women. So that's what he's using the press tour to do, but nobody is associating with him. He's doing all of his interviews alone. And even in this interview they did with one of the actresses, she's asked about what it was like to work with him. She totally sidesteps the question. Do we have that video? It was Jenny Slate. They asked her, what's it like to work with Justin on this movie?
This one? Is it this one?
Yeah,
this one?
that.
Okay, here we go.
Talk to me, what was that like, having him be director but also scene partner? I mean, what an intense job. Like to have to do so many things. I just found myself being like, wow, I really just want to have one job at once. Like and in fact, I've often felt that way. Like I really like writing and I like it so much. And it's special to be able to be a writer.
She's literally looking at her publicist off screen. She's like,
help, help.
The media training is hitting
just
different.
Around just being like, I'm good with just acting. I really, I love it. I just want to do it.
Okay.
I feel like
I just want to do it. She's like, I'm not going to answer this question.
So something happened, evidently, and now I've been seeing like Blake Lively is getting a ton of hateful comments, not just over this movie and the drama surrounding that, but also her cover on Vogue with Hugh Jackman, who is a close friend of her and Ryan Reynolds. They're saying that she should be canceled for getting married on a plantation.
That is one of the most terminally online takes you will ever see in the entire world.
Yeah.
That
they said
there's infinite threads of people being mad at her and Ryan Reynolds because they got married at a plantation house.
Yeah, did you know that,
Oh
Michelle?
no, I didn't. It's
know that.
Ryan Reynolds' fault for apologizing for this years ago.
Yeah.
Like that is
Right.
as cucked as it gets. I'm sorry.
They said Blake Lively got married on a plantation and is currently promoting a movie that romanticizes domestic abuse, which source material was written by a woman who tried to hide her son's SA allegations. I don't know anything about that with Colleen Hoover, but she her and Ryan Reynolds apparently got really tight with Colleen Hoover throughout the making of the film, and then they got to make a bunch of decisions and bulldoze Justin Baldoni's angle for the movie.
They thought about all of the books they're going to option later and get first crack at.
But they're better at business.
Yep.
That's just the way of the world. That's showbiz,
So
baby.
mean girl Blake Lively just took over this dude's movie.
Another one said, Blake Lively hasn't gagged me since I found out she got married on a plantation. For the love of God, get that woman off my timeline. Something about Blake Lively doesn't sit right with me.
That was my favorite. It's the most feminine. It's the most female take I've ever seen. It's like I don't know. I just
Blake
never
Lively
liked him.
gives me the ick.
I've just never
She
liked
gives me
him.
the ick. Another one said, I think Blake is fine, but she's not all the words this person is making her out to be. Movie star? Are you sure you don't mean white and blonde? As if being white and blonde will get you celebrated in Hollywood in this day and age.
Yeah,
That's
right.
insane. They're basically saying that she's being celebrated for her mediocrity and her whiteness, which is crazy.
She was in that
That seems a
Lonely
little
Island.
harsh.
She was in that Lonely Island video. I just had sex with Akon.
Some of the comments are
she really?
sympathizing with Justin Baldoni. They're saying this right here, Justin is the main one speaking about the severity and importance of the movie. His interviews are truly discussing the film instead of whatever the others are doing. I agree with this take. I was thinking Justin Baldoni was mad about Blake doing so much promo for Deadpool right before this movie, and then mad that Ryan Reynolds turned this basically into an extended Deadpool promo.
I mean, am I wrong in thinking like I don't think Ryan Reynolds needs your little movie to promote Deadpool, which is
He doesn't need your little movie.
which is about to hit $1 billion in like 3 weeks.
It's gonna do well.
He's fine.
Like
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he's not doing that, but I'm just saying like that sounds a little paranoid to me.
I can't tell like which is the right way to market the movie. Do you market it as like Blake Lively in a fun rom-com, or do you market it as what it is?
As what it is.
I think you be honest, and
Yeah.
the people that are interested in that, to be honest, like that premise is interesting to me, but I mean, it's a weakness, but I'm drawn to heavier stuff sometimes. Like people want small, like I'm like, no, I want to go there and, and it might be really interesting, but I think people need to know what they're signing up for.
There'll be a lot of anger
Yes.
if they go there and it's not what they were expecting it to
Totally,
be.
and that's fair.
Word of mouth is worse than.
Yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are starting to bring like their teenage daughters to the movie and like giving their kids the book because it has this like cute floral cover and it's at Target. So how could it possibly be inappropriate for children?
She's a florist named Bloom. How bad could it be?
I don't know, man.
Her life sounds dreamy.
Yeah. Well,
They're not doing their research and they're getting kind of hoodwinked when they go into the theater.
I just don't think this movie has the mass appeal it needs to really have legs at the box office. Maybe if you're honest and you promote it that way, but it would have to be really, really good.
But-
it would have to be very, very good to to be people like, look, we know it's heavy, but just go and see it. We think you'll like it.
Yeah, and maybe just take that approach. Yeah, and,
I mean,
and
that
be
works with
honest
Sound of
about
Freedom.
it. Because the truth
That's
is,
true.
like people, they don't generally like movies like what it sounds like it actually is, which is, but they should have the option of knowing.
I just don't like the whole thing about like raising awareness for issues. Like, make the movie. If it happens to raise awareness for a certain issue, that's great, I guess. But like,
you can just
you're
feel
supposed
them,
to entertain me first.
They need rotator cuff surgery from patting themselves on the back.
That's what's suspicious to me. Is Justin Baldoni seems like a self-important male feminist who is patting himself on the back for being such a great like advocate for women's rights and interests, and it's like, now I immediately think that you're dangerous. Now I can't trust you. Because that's
but if just to play the devil's advocate a little bit, but then what would you think of Jim Caviezel bringing so much awareness to sex trafficking?
Well, I think that's totally different because he's not framing himself as a male feminist. He's framing himself as caring about an issue that actually isn't talked about enough. And it's not in a way that's going to get people to celebrate him. It's about getting people to talk about the issue.
Yes, yeah, he definitely did a good job at that.
So I do think that he had like I think that came from the right place. When it's a man in Hollywood making his entire personality about like advocating for women, I think that might be overcompensating for something. That's my immediate instinct. That's just me.
Like, is it from a genuine place?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I usually assume no.
Right.
But, yeah. I'm
Understandable.
cynical.
Yeah.
Understandable.
You can't blame me for being cynical.
All right, let's go super chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, when it comes to critiquing bad movies, Mary isn't the hero we want. She is the hero we deserve. It's so true.
Well,
and I say it all the time.
I mean, what really qualifies as bad, really?
Most things. The ninja from Pop Culture Planet said, did she really say ew as if? That's fetch. I like that. Shane H. Wilder said, everything is made to give you a dopamine hit. TV shows always give cliffhangers to make you want to see the next episode. It's all about moderation.
Well, they talk about how Pixar movies are designed to be emotionally manipulative.
Wait, what?
Pixar movies are designed to be emotionally
How?
manipulative. There's whole think pieces that have been
Well, that
written
just
about.
means it's like art made you feel something, so it's manipulating
Like
you?
how Up makes you all on your feels for this like elderly gentleman. Like, you mean like that?
Yeah.
That's just what a movie is supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Sweet Potato Knight said, incorrect. Mary bad. She steals spoons.
Do you still
I don't know
spoons?
how I'm getting framed for this. This is obviously Seamus. Shane H. Wilder said, not all of us Catholics steal spoons, only Seamus. Thank you for defending me.
Guys, we are right up there about to get a second crisis party. Let's go.
High Voltage 75 said, party time. Thank you.
That was for the first one. Yes. Let's do two more.
That Stanzatastic said, wait, you called that cringe? In what universe is that cringe when you showed us Piss Drinker? How wide is the sliding scale?
It's a very wide scale.
See, this is how I keep you on your toes because you never know what you're going to get with Cringe of the Day. Is it going to ruin your life?
Is it a dude drinking piss out of a jar, or is it a guy? Is it a girl proposing to a guy?
Right.
Stay tuned for the next episode.
You never know what you're going to get.
Do one more.
Corey Anderson said, women proposing is going to be so much more popular due to abolishing the patriarchy. Ladies, this is your collective fault.
Well, wasn't it? It was Simone Biles' husband who made the joke, like, "I'm the prize," because he's a pro football player.
Did he say that?
And everybody got mad at him.
I thought he just said that he didn't know who she was before they started dating.
I thought it was like, "I'm the prize," but he was kidding. But maybe it was like that he just didn't know. And then people are mad, like you expected like a dude to know who a pro gymnast was.
I mean, I do find that surprising for someone who's an athlete to not
I do too.
know who Simone Biles is.
I mean, she's reached a larger level of stardom now than she was when that happened.
I guess.
Yes.
But it's kind of like how Meghan Markle like didn't know who Prince.
Yeah, I didn't even know like that there was a royal family. I didn't.
I thought those were just in movies.
Yeah.
Let's.
hard to
Did you
believe.
see the picture of Simone Biles next to Shaq?
Yeah, that was
Yes.
crazy.
She's
How
4'8".
we
I know, it's so cute. Like when she's with a taller person.
I was like, our species is crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
There's so much actual diversity.
Genetics
do one
are
more.
wild.
The Rumbling said, if a based kid that is in the new Harry Potter says, my dad... Okay, I'm not going to say
Yeah.
that.
Let's hold off on the rest. Let's
Why
come back
are you
after
sending
the
us this stuff?
Time to talk about what's
guys.
going on at the BAFTAs.
Yeah, so there has been a lot of controversy and discourse around whether award shows should form certain categories for actors who identify as non-binary. Obviously, there are different categories for men and women in the Oscars and pretty much every award show at this point. And those originally were made for equity purposes so that everyone gets a proper chance at winning these awards. But that's not enough because there are like, I can count maybe like 5 non-binary actors who identify as neither gender. And they feel they deserve to revise all of the guidelines so that they can be specially represented in these award shows. So recently, the BAFTAs has made their final decision. They're not going to introduce non-binary categories in any of their awards. And this was after the Brit Awards decided to add non-binary categories for their musicians. But at that time in 2022, the BAFTAs said they were engaged in proactive and thoughtful consultation on the subject of gendered acting categories and were speaking to sector peers, industry stakeholders, and experts. And their decision was not to add these new categories.
And they're just like shaking at the backlash that's about to come to them.
I mean, if they were that scared of backlash, wouldn't they just comply and just
saying
make...
they stood up for what they believed in. Look, but also it's funny because Hollywood is one of those places. If you want to make an actress angry, call her an actress, not an actor. They hate that.
So stupid.
Yeah.
I have heard that they want it to just be actors, like instead of actor and actress categories, like at the award shows.
But wouldn't that mean less people win overall?
Yeah, it
Like,
would.
that's
Did it
the
at
point. You
some
can never...
award show last year and all the category entrants were men, or like 4 of the 5 were men, and then everybody got mad. They're like, well, what do you want us to do?
Yeah, they were trying to be equitable and inclusive, and it didn't work.
And then they're going to say they're sexist when the man wins.
Right.
This is what I mean by intersectionality, right? You can find your complaint at every level, which is why it's impossible to reason with them, because they will find some way to frame it in a Marxist fashion.
Also,
Yes.
like, again, there are like 2 non-binary actors. Okay, so they have a higher chance of
Bella
winning an
Ramsey
award
Award.
than everybody else.
Right.
The Bella Ramsey Award.
That's basic math. Yep. I'm not a math person, but I think that works out. So they say awards nominees will now have to pick a side and choose whether they want to compete as actors or actresses. And this announcement places non-binary performers, you can't call them actors, Emma Corrin, Emma Darcy, and Bella Ramsey in a tricky position. Revised guidelines released last week say that film producers must confirm the gender or gender identity of each candidate for nomination. It's up to the entrant which category they enter into.
First of all, that seems like a level of privilege right there. They just wait for all the other nominees to be named and find the thinnest competition and just enter that one.
Yeah, I don't know how all of it works. Like,
obviously, that's not what it was. They would have to pick ahead of time which one they want to be considered for. But
also, it's like you go by Emma and Bella.
Yes, that's what I kept hearing.
I don't know who this is on the left, but they have the same suit tailor as Jordan Peterson, apparently, or Two-Face.
That's Emma Darcy from House of the Dragon, who plays a woman in the show. Bella Ramsey also plays a woman in The Last of Us, but why not just submit based on the gender of the character you're playing? Would that be possible?
It's too logical. You know?
Is that...
Yes.
Well, unless like your character is non-binary, which I'm sure would happen at some point.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's when the real trouble will set in, when the character is supposed to be non-binary, and then they have to choose whether they're in a male or female category.
Like, what gender is Pennywise?
Yeah.
What if they're a non-human character? What do you do then? It's just too complicated, and ultimately, like, you got to grow up.
They do it.
Like, pick a lane.
That's what I was about to say. Like, they made the right decision because ultimately they've got to pick a lane. Do you want to be at best actor category or best actress category? Pick A or B.
And I mean, if you want to go back and forth movie to movie, that's your prerogative.
I like the idea of just making it gender neutral awards because the award shows will be shorter. There will be less categories.
Shorter, yeah.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
Just make one award every year and make everybody compete for it.
If you think it'd be half the time.
Yeah.
This is
cut it in half.
This is interesting. I feel like some female musicians and actresses feel slighted by this because like obviously female categories were introduced so that women could also win awards at the same rate. But this says the Brit Awards no longer have gendered categories such as Best Male Solo Artists, a move widely thought to be driven by non-binary singer Sam Smith. But Adele, who won Best British Artist in 2022, said on stage, "I understand why the name of this award has changed, but I really love being a woman and being a female artist."
Yes, Adele.
She feels like she was cheated out of...
Oh, I think you said Sam Smith said that. I'm like, what?
No, that was Adele.
You wouldn't have been surprised.
After they changed it and made all of their categories gender neutral.
Okay.
And she felt like that was the wrong move.
Oh,
But
I remember that.
I don't know if like she got backlash for saying that, if people came after her. But this is kind of the same thing that's happening in women's sports, which is a whole other can of worms.
See, Adele,
Which is
Adele's
also
on
more-
a high horse because she's like one of those women that's actually so rich she's paying her husband after they got divorced. So
Yeah.
she's particularly alpha.
Yeah. But the all male nominee list that you were talking about was at the Brit Awards. It was the Best British Artist shortlist being all male. Because they went gender neutral, and that's what happened.
Sucks to suck.
Like, obviously, the result is not things being more diverse and inclusive.
If
so,
if it
what are we
isn't
doing
the
here?
consequences of your own actions.
Yeah, it's hard to feel bad for them because they all are like cheering for this.
Yep.
And cheerleading all of these progressive updates to our reality.
Well, that's why actually, when you're talking about this, I actually want them to I want her to go compete in the male category because they're going to give it to her because they have to give it to her at that point. Because if not, they would be issed.
Like Adele? Or
No. I'm talking about
one of the actors.
The actors,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why. Because then we can get it on the other side. Because currently, someone who played college basketball, it very much upsets me that women's spaces are being dominated now by biological men. So why not just let them feel screwed over for once? And it's all they're all in on it together, so they can all just they can all live with it.
They would
quite
have
frankly.
to coordinate that. I honestly just don't think that women, especially in a business like Hollywood, would do it. I don't think they would ever do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trump dance.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna save TikTok.
It's gonna save TikTok. I just
I
don't
would
think that a
love-
bunch of actresses would actually
No.
stand up for themselves like that.
I wonder what Donald Trump's opinions are on gender neutral award shows.
He's like, they're stupid.
He's got thoughts on that.
But yeah, I think Emma Corrin is in The Crown, right?
She was in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right.
As
a
who?
woman,
Who did she play?
was Cassandra Nova.
Oh, okay.
But Emma Corrin, who uses they, them pronouns, previously claimed that awards ceremonies aren't inclusive enough and said that changing it to gender neutral would enable everyone to feel acknowledged and represented.
No, it wouldn't, because only way less people would win.
Yeah.
That makes
She
no
said,
sense.
I hope for a future in which that happens. I don't think the categories are inclusive enough at the moment. It's about everyone being able to feel acknowledged and represented.
This is like boomers will tell you that this is the product of participation trophies. This is just the product of weird Marxism and feminism.
Yeah, and it's, really Marxism and feminism that's being celebrated by women
Yes,
primarily.
it is. Because
Which
they
is
love
why
the
they're not going to
idea-
fight back against it.
They love the idea of talking about oppression categories and things like this.
True.
Yes.
She also said, when it comes to categories, do we need to make it specific as to whether you're being nominated for female or male role? You can discuss awards and the representation there, but really the conversation needs to be about having more representation in the material itself, in the content that we are seeing for non-binary people, for queer people, for trans people, because then I think it will change a lot. When those parts come up,
But the role is not being nominated. The portrayal of the role is.
Right.
Right? That's what it's... You know what this is? This is what happens if you gave all the power to a bunch of stoners who sat around and were like, dude... What if we expanded this?
What if
and,
we lived in a utopian society where everyone
because men and women, right? Like we're not that different.
Maybe we're all the same.
We're all the same.
we really haven't progressed in any sense since John Lennon's Imagine.
That's the song I was thinking
We
of.
have not moved past that culture.
Yeah.
We're still in that.
I mean, artists haven't changed. That's the thing. If you want really good art, it takes people that are extremely emotional and able to evoke emotion really, really well. They have to be connected to that, which is why I usually push back when people call acting easy. It's not. What they do is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
But the type of person it takes to want to do that for a living tends to be John Lennon-esque, wishy-washy, and not. It's why it's
Usually
funny.
narcissistic,
very, very self-conscious, and very, very hard to they don't. It's why when you meet conservative actors, it's so funny, because somebody who does take a more analytical approach to the world, you wouldn't think they would be able to do that, but people contain multitudes, as they say.
We got a 20 from
do.
Vince. He said, off topic, change the title for today's episode to Outnumbered. You're outnumbered, Brett.
I'll do that.
Yes.
Okay, let's finish up our super chats. Corey Anderson said, in regard to the Taylor Swift attack news, those weren't men. Men don't fail. You guys are out of pocket.
That was out of
today.
pocket.
What is going on?
All right.
You guys probably have a much more clean-cut audience. It doesn't say these
I will say
offensive things.
this. We have so many. I mean, of course, you've got the random comment, but it's almost like, I guess, it's sad to say, it pleasantly surprises me how many respectful male subscribers we have.
We have, I end everyone with ladies and gentlemen. We have the gentlemen in
because
our
they
chat.
are, and they can even hit up my Instagram inbox or anything,
And they're
9
gentlemen.
times out of 10,
They're polite.
so polite, so respectful,
How do you
never
do,
anything
madame?
inappropriate.
How do you do, madame?
Milady.
Milady.
My lady.
They bow and they curtsy.
Or they'll just be
Tips
like,
fedora.
they'll be like, your sweetness is your superpower, or like something like that. Like not even about physical or
So what you're
anything.
saying is they're not sending you fire emojis on your posts.
They're not sending- Yeah.
But just so sweet. So there are a lot of great men out there.
If you guys want to be sweet, you should get us to a third crisis party before the show is over.
By the way,
today.
I wanted to ask what your demographics are in your audience. Is it mostly male?
It's like
and what's the age range?
It's like 97% male.
really
talking
Yeah.
about like this type of like movie reviews and stuff like that would skew male.
Well, like our friend.
It depends on what it is.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to like Drunk 3POJ. Like he's got the biggest female audience in the entertainment game. But
That's interesting.
But yeah, it does lean male for the most part in entertainment. But yeah, it's about 97% male.
Just
But,
a
like-
clean 97.
I see like women making like video essays on different like movies or TV shows that have primarily female audiences too. I guess it's just they're doing that with primarily female.
I think they're probably doing it with like Pride and Prejudice and things like that. Wouldn't really, draw our viewers in.
Yeah, things that not Blazing Saddles. Like
yeah.
Our audience,
Yes.
our
like
audience
not
is
it ends
split.
with us.
yeah.
Our audience is split around about the type of video they're watching. So our shorts are mostly watched by women.
Okay.
And our
I watch you guys
segments
shorts.
and
Yeah.
our segments and our videos are mostly watched by men, or it skews more male.
Okay.
But like if you look at the average overall, I think we're at like 75% male.
Somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Now it does depend on like the movie. Like if we're
Yes.
watching, we definitely like. I'd have to go back and look when we did our review of Anyone But You. It definitely had way more female audience. So it does depend. But
Yeah.
overall, it's we're fine with that. But it's
Yeah,
like
that's
97% male.
But we love them.
We do. They're
We
great.
hope we're gonna send some of our female viewers over to watch your
Yeah,
channel.
you guys can come. We
But
always
that's why
see
it's
them.
like when there's a woman in
Everybody's
the chat, we
welcome
feel
here.
honored.
Yes.
We love
Everyone's
it.
welcome.
Yes.
Corey Anderson said, Rob, women of joy, LOL. Women have milked the life out of men for millennia. Women can't handle being a man. I have to work until I die. No joy for me.
Lots of joy on this channel, guys.
What is...
Man, that is black pill if I've heard black pill.
Are you,
It is.
Are you-
We're going to pray for you.
are you drinking while super chatting again? Pat the plumber said, where TF were you two yesterday? Well, we were waiting here for a while,
Yep.
and then we left.
Yes. You know what it was? I just said I don't want to do it. I'm going
Yeah.
home.
Well, I saw someone say, like, Mary finally did it. She killed him. She killed Brett.
Could have happened.
It's
No,
over.
what it was, guys, is I got into
Killed
the
the
office.
patriarchy. I smashed the patriarchy once and for all.
I got into the office yesterday, and I was just like, nope. And I went home. I just said, you know what? I don't feel like it today. I'm taking a me day.
You just weren't feeling the vibe.
I'm taking a me day.
You were like, treat yourself.
You went and got a massage and a pedicure.
Mani pedi.
Yeah,
Yep,
and a
that's
mani
exactly
pedi.
what I did.
That's why he looks so lovely today.
Exactly.
That's why they call it a manicure. It's for men.
Of course.
Exactly.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Welcome, Brian Bledsoe. Watch the PCC live test. LOL." Don't tell people to watch
Also,
that.
it was Drew Bledsoe that I was thinking of earlier, not Dan Bledsoe.
Oh.
It's a quarterback.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Drewish AF said, "I always dance for acts of terror. Never mind, love y'all."
I was going to say that. I was like, yeah,
You
that's
guys
your
are
audience.
unhinged.
It's like, that's your audience. And then there's us. There's like Taylor Swift and an ISIS attack. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tonal issues, guys.
Brett Yeaman said, "I love Michelle's smile. It always makes my day."
Oh.
See, your viewers are so nice. That's so pleasant. I just wonder, like, where we went wrong.
You guys can turn this around. I believe it.
Shane H. Wilder said, "I'm offended. My socks are not mismatched."
If somebody said
Well, that means
to,
you're an above average white male.
if somebody had said that to Mary, she'd be like, simp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's why they are the way they
Yeah.
are. We've trained them this way. Red Snow said, "Never heard of the guest, but I'm going to check it out."
Oh, thank you. Please do.
We're sharing the love. Ben Tomsky said, "On second thought, I agree with Jenna's advice. The world would be better if more people acted like the average white guy and less like raging feminists."
Like I said,
Hot take.
I tell that story about the guy who's going into Aldi with his collared shirt and his too loose khaki pants, and you just know he mastered the Excel spreadsheet 20 years ago, and most of the white collar world runs on this dude. This one guy represents all of computerdom, and he's just walking there buying his fruits and vegetables. You know, be more like that guy.
Yeah, Jenna Ortega like accidentally made a good point, which is that you shouldn't walk into any room like thinking about your race and your gender.
Like, maybe she was almost trying to like go into it with confidence.
Yeah, but
But what she's saying is that the men that have it is unearned.
Yes.
And that every bland, normal white dude who works a regular job who has absolutely nothing unique about him walks around as if he's the greatest thing that ever happened.
Well, maybe that's why
Which
they run society. Maybe that's why white men run societies, because they have confidence. So maybe everyone should adopt that kind of confidence.
But in her analogy, she was very much kind of blatantly overgeneralizing.
Right, sure.
Every white male has a different experience, just like we all do.
Yeah.
We all do.
I would like to approach my life as if I was every female actress with an ignorant political statement. If I could only have the confidence of a female actress in Hollywood talking about Palestine.
What I need is the confidence of Lizzo.
Yes.
I need
Me
to wake
too.
up with the confidence
Me
of
too.
Lizzo.
Yes.
Brian Bledsoe said, "Not familiar with Dan, also
Dave.
not related to Drew, but still somehow felt guilty for liking Tom Brady. Also, I liked Argyle too."
In the chat, somebody said manfidence.
Yes.
I usually hear it as CAUCASITY.
CAUCASITY, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, maybe I'll rewatch Argyle. Maybe I should rewatch Argyle, but I am gonna rewatch Wonka this year and figure out if it really was just the bad mood I was in. was the reason I did.
Rewatching Wonka.
Yep, I'm gonna rewatch it.
Remember, I think that was the movie we waited like 40 minutes for.
Was it?
I think that we were in a bad mood.
It was the flash that happened to.
No,
because
it
the
happened
movie
multiple
kept
times.
resetting.
It happened multiple times, I'm pretty sure.
I tried to rewatch The Flash recently and turned it off and then watched. No, I didn't mind it when I first. I thought
Okay.
Ezra Miller gave a great performance in that movie, as well as an absolute lunatic can give in a movie. But
Right.
I did finally see Shazam: Fury of the Gods, and it was fine. It was pleasantly surprising.
It was.
Lucy Liu is great in everything. So
Yes.
You know what? I think you were in a bad mood with Wonka because we were sitting on a different side of the theater than we usually sit.
could be.
Did that get you?
It threw
Well,
you off.
I'm-
Takes you out of your
happens.
routine.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Also, I'm deaf in one ear, so where I'm sitting
Really?
actually does kind of matter. Like if my good ear is facing the speakers, it's overpowering.
Yeah.
So if we were on that side, that might have been it, but I'm not sure.
Maybe.
It was
Pat
your
the plumber.
ableism.
Yeah,
It was
that's what
our ableism, yeah, against Brett. Pat the plumber said, "Brett's my hero."
Well, if you were my hero, you would rally the troops to get us to the third crisis party.
Well, you're
If I was your
you're
hero,
his hero.
if I was your hero, you would rally the troops to get us to a third crisis party.
Yeah.
That's my emotional manipulation for the day, ladies and gentlemen.
Alex making beds and starting novel again because last version. What was the rest of that username? I don't even know how long your username is, but he said it was ish anyway. Imagine how hard it was to work without my daily dosage of Barrett and Mario. keeping me up to date on important issues. Sad.
There was one comment that I saw on the community note post. It says, like, I used to think the idea for this show was stupid. Then I found myself getting annoyed when you guys took the day off. And I'm like, it's like backhand full of knuckles with that compliment.
Right.
Yep.
Overall compliment.
Yes.
Red Snow said Sydney Sweeney versus Sabrina Carpenter just looks.
Face Sabrina Carpenter.
They're like vastly different.
Face and hair Sabrina Carpenter.
They're vastly different
Natalie's like breast.
in terms
Sydney
of
Sweeney.
Breast goes to six.
in terms of what other than their chest size. Like, I'm trying to think.
I answered that way too quick, but
Yes,
I hope that
that
didn't
was
come
good.
across.
She was ready for that.
I don't
She
know.
had waiting for
I
this
was
all
thought of
show.
it.
I was born ready for that question.
I think I like Sydney Sweeney's face better, actually.
Really?
I like that she has like a bunny mouth, like bunny teeth.
I will say I do like that she doesn't look like everybody else. She does have her own look, you know. And I think
Even though no
that's
one
cool, too.
notices it
Yeah, yeah.
because of her tits, but like other than that, like she does actually have a unique face.
She does have a face, doesn't she?
She has a unique face.
I think guys forget that sometimes. You know?
I can't pass judgment until I've seen Sabrina Carpenter cry. I've only seen Sydney Sweeney cry.
Did you like it or not like it?
It was too ridiculous. Like I said, I won't pass judgment today.
Serenko Productions said River was in My Own Private Idaho with Keanu Reeves. Wait, who?
River Phoenix.
River Phoenix? Oh.
Yeah, Joaquin's brother.
Shane H. Wilder said, no one wants to see dark, depressing movies in the theater. Come on, don't you want to see Requiem for a Dream in IMAX, D-Box, LMAO?
It's like
Oh
watching
my
a-
gosh, I saw that movie.
watching a movie about domestic violence and like 40x and like your chair moves when he hits her.
And you're like eating cheese fries. Like it just doesn't feel
you're like-
right.
It's coming at me, bro.
It's like when people are. It's like the joke where people are watching the Olympics. It's like Olympic athlete screws up me with Cheetos on me. Idiot!
Yeah, you suck.
Run, lady!
Drewish AF said actors are idolized because they are rich and envied. Is it that? I mean, there are plenty of people who are rich that
I think it's just the screen.
aren't envied.
They're on the big screen.
That they're adored by the masses a lot of
Yeah.
times. So therefore, it's messed up, but people tend to think like, oh, their opinion really matters on something maybe they don't even really know very much about.
Not that John Stewart has saved us with a $50 super chat to get us the third crisis party. Says so baby Brett doesn't cry himself to sleep at night.
Baby Brett.
So you're saying I look young? Thank you. That
was a
very
compliment.
That was very nice of you.
Yeah. Corey Anderson said, ladies, can you say bless your heart?
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Love that.
I feel he wants it a little more southern, but
He's still pretty southern.
We're only medium southern, guys.
we only have a twang.
We have a twang, but our parents are from Ohio, so I think it kind of messed us up from being like fully going there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So me and Olivia are watching this Rachel Bilson show called Heart of Dixie from like 2000.
Oh my god!
I've heard of
I know of
that.
it, but I've never seen it.
And the southern accents are freaking crazy.
I'm sure.
It's
Are they real?
It's I don't think so, because a lot of the I recognize a lot of the actors who do a lot of other stuff that they don't have those accents.
and they'll put it on so thick.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
like
So
really
thick,
over the
yeah.
top, and it's really really funny. It's the girl.
Glenn Powell did a good southern accent in Twisters.
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
It did feel natural.
Yeah.
Like it was believable.
And
Well, he's
wait,
from Texas, so he
What
can.
was the
he's
actress's
adjacent.
name?
kind of a
Name.
yeehaw
He's
type
adjacent,
of, yeah.
what was
Yeah.
the actress's name? Daisy Edgar Jones.
Yeah.
She did a good accent as well. She's
did,
British,
yeah.
so I was
Oh, okay.
surprised at that.
So extra points.
Potatoes.
I mean, not. It's only impressive if an American can do a British accent. Like 90% of the actors you see on TV doing American accents are British.
I know.
Australian.
I know.
Yeah.
They are.
They're really good.
Potatoes for Seamus said, "Happy Friday, Mary. Hi, Brett. Hi, guest. Brett Simpcast."
Wait a minute, is that Seamus? Or what
No,
did you say this?
it's potatoes.
Potatoes.
For
Oh,
Seamus.
for
potato.
Seamus.
I don't
And
know
we're
why I
not-
heard Seamus.
We're
Oh, yeah,
not
potatoes.
totally sure if potatoes for Seamus is perhaps an alt account for Seamus.
I don't
but
think he
Right.
has that much. I don't think he's got the time to be watching our show during the
I
day.
don't think
he's
so
usually
either.
animating.
Potatoes for Seamus also said, "Anne's Franks, let's go."
I'm gonna have to send you the Adolf Rizzler thing that I saw earlier. The ultimate brain rot. I'll just let that hang out there. Guys.
Okay. Pat the plumber said, "Shout out to Chair for getting some today."
Yes.
What is wrong with the chat today? They're usually not like this.
You guys are misbehaving today.
They're not behaving.
There should be at least 4 crisis parties for this much misbehavior.
That's what we would deserve.
Yeah.
Come on, you guys.
Shane H. Wilder said, everybody wants to take bad apps. I'm not reading that. Throne. OGs, remember, I sent enough unread super chats. You could buy a Bugatti. A Bugatti.
A Bugatti.
A Bugatti. A Bugatti. What color is your Bugatti?
A Bugatti. It's actually a Bugatti.
He said he sent enough super chats. Not me. I is a good boy. You're usually.
I was gonna say Shane H. Wilder doesn't. Shane doesn't send those types of super chats.
Yeah, you don't send the risque ones. Surenko Productions said, "Wow, why'd they leave out Ezra Miller?
He's not getting any work. Oh, I'm sorry. They're not getting any work. It's not getting any work.
Them. He's not getting any work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about Ezra Miller. I mean, I don't really think of him as. I don't think of him in general.
You don't think of him, period.
Well, you know, I think when you punch enough women, like maybe you need some time out and anger management.
Look, he's throwing chairs at them.
Yeah,
it's different.
You know, one I believe was pregnant. You know,
he has a male rage problem.
Yeah,
yeah.
Gordon Shumway said, "Wasn't the precedent already set by Linda Hunt winning an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, even though she played a male character?"
Makes sense.
Right, you nominate based on the actor's sex or gender identity, whatever, in previous times. The Rumbling said, "Thanks, Mary. Check on my Friday bingo card." I'm not going to say that. Okay. Wait, what? I don't even know what you're talking about. Vince said, "Off topic, changing the title." Oh, I already read that one.
And I think as far as the bingo card, they're expecting me to bring up House. You know, it's the bingo card, you know, the things that get mentioned all the time. You know, that happens when you do it 5 days a week, guys. You talk for 10 hours, you repeat yourself sometimes.
We're toxic. I think we're toxic. I think we found out, like, why our audience is being toxic is because we're toxic.
It's not me, it's you.
Thank you. I don't know why the lights are like starting to flash way earlier.
It's delayed this week. I don't know why.
Okay, KB said, "Thanks, Natalie."
KB's a good one. He's a gentleman.
KB.
Corey Anderson said, "No, Mary, clean sober. I am joking with super chats." He also said, "Ladies, you all look lovely today. Brett, you're a dude."
Well, thank you.
That's fine.
Thank you.
That's perfectly fine. Respectable answer.
Potatoes for Seamus said, "Guest to bring up Bad Dragon and certain toys and watch Mary giggle. Also, Brett is acting rather tall today." How do you act tall?
Yeah.
How do you act tall?
I have no idea. I've got to get those Ron DeSantis shoes
Yes.
to make myself taller.
There you go. Then you can act it all the time.
What's Bad Dragon? I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
Okay.
But like as far as height goes, you're only acting tall if you're short. If you're being rude and mean, it's like when you get a mean, like a short cop, they're always overly aggressive because they're embarrassed that they're short.
I got a parking ticket today.
Oh no!
After the meter was expired for literally 5 minutes. I think he was. He
Did
was,
you try climb?
That's not cool.
He wasn't there.
No?
He did it while I wasn't there, but he was probably a short cop who was standing there waiting for the meter to
That's
expire.
likely what it was. He was
watching it.
The meter was taller than him, and he was really pissed.
Yeah.
And he took it out on you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I'm the victim. Corey Anderson said, "Show the people's Joker."
We've retired that meme.
I don't even remember what they sent for
that
People's
trailer-
Joker. They
and
had to
that
send a 20 for People's Joker. That's a $2 super chat.
Plus, that trailer is no longer available on the internet. It's been scrubbed.
Yeah, don't think we would be able to find it anyway. Pat the Plumber said, "Let's go, troops."
Yes.
He's trying to rally the troops.
Let's
for
go
you.
to the 4th crisis party.
Sorry, I missed that one. Red Snow said, "I won't lie, Sabrina has some kind of pin-up art vibe."
She does. I think that's what I'm drawn to. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
50s-esque
her
beauty.
aesthetic.
I like that. I love
Like
the retro
50s
looks.
look,
yeah,
yeah.
she does it well.
Gordon Shumway said, "Let's get a hostage party." Everyone said $2 chats. This is
No.
what they do, is they keep us here
Yep.
reading super chats for all of eternity. Potatoes for Seamus said, "Wait, speaking of accents, Mary has an Aussie accent." I don't. I'm not.
She's hiding it.
I'm
Negative.
I'm not playing this game. High Voltage 75 said, ladies, I noticed on your channel you started dipping into James Cameron's catalog. Does that mean a
Yes.
Terminator reaction in the near future?
We would, but we grew up with that one.
I wish we hadn't seen it, but we
grew up.
did.
We grew up with Terminator.
Thoughts on Terminator?
Love it.
Well, okay, I'm a T2 girl.
Okay.
Like T2 is a
I would
dang good
agree.
sci-fi.
It's more enjoyable.
they're
It's more
different movies.
entertaining.
They are. You know what? I have not watched just Terminator as an adult, and I need to go back and revisit it.
It's really
Yes.
good.
Okay.
It's really good.
Because it's almost kind of like Alien and Aliens. The first one, is kind of more where Alien is more just a horror movie that
and then
really
it becomes more action
Yes.
oriented. That's exactly what Terminator 1
Yeah.
and 2 do. So the first one is basically a survival horror movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
the second one is an action movie.
I bet I will like it as an adult even more than I did as a
It's a
kid.
good point,
Yes.
I go on about how Terminator Salvation isn't as bad as people make it out to be.
Which one was that?
That was the one with Christian Bale.
Oh yeah, I actually and Bryce Dallas Howard
Yep.
and the other I actually thought it was decent.
Anton Yelkin. And also, if you haven't seen it, because we were talking about Hulu earlier, Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles are on there. And
I
it's
have
actually-
not seen
I
that.
haven't heard of that.
It's a lot of fun.
Is this a show or a movie?
It's a show. It barely connects to the movies, but it doesn't try to like wink and nod every 10 minutes. Like it does. Like I think in the first episode there's a line where it's like where Summer Glau's character goes, "Come with me if you want to live," and that's about as close to a wink and a nod as you get in the series, but it's really good.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that because I love, speaking of good characters, I mean, Linda Hamilton, and I think that's why I love T2. And T2, I mean, that's just iconic. I mean, she was awesome.
Like when I need to mentally get tough or inspired, I'm not joking. I think of her in that prison cell. It's not a prison. It's
Where
a
she's
mental
doing-
institution
she's doing
cell.
the- yeah.
And she's just in there working.
This
She's just
was
in there
you
getting
before
ready.
the show today.
She's like,
that's what you were doing.
That
to
was me.
psychologically
And
prepared.
That was me.
It's Lena Headey from Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How
She
long ago
plays
did
Sarah
they do
in
that?
2009.
Okay, so it's not that long ago.
I mean, that's
Well, I mean, yeah.
10, 15 years ago.
I was thinking maybe it was like in the 90s or something.
No,
yeah,
no.
okay.
So since you guys do like a lot of first watch videos, do you have a running list for everything?
We keep a list. People recommend
Suggestion list,
suggestion.
yeah.
So we kind of do keep it, and then we try to be seasonal. Like, when it comes fall, we try to pick like a good fall movie. Like, we're gonna do. I've never sat down and watched. Like, I saw scenes here or there as a kid. I've never actually watched Rudy. So we're planning on doing Rudy.
Me neither. I've
for-
seen clips, and
for,
those
like,
clips made me
what'd
cry.
you say?
So I
Hoosiers?
can't wait.
The basketball movie.
I don't know if I watched Hoosiers.
You should. I mean, sports movies are great first watches. 'cause
They
you don't get them anymore. You don't
Yeah,
get great sports movies
we'd
anymore.
see before baseball. Right as baseball season was started this year, we did Major League and The Natural. Did we do another one? And Field of Dreams. We loved
Field of Dreams. Oh, so good. So inspirational.
Yeah, it was so good.
Almost spiritual.
Like, it was
Yeah.
good.
Major League 1 and 2 are both really, really good.
So the second one's good.
I saw the second one before the first one just because we had it on VHS. And I was
Okay.
probably too young to watch it anyways.
Doing the first time watching, like, I've discovered, like, Charlie Sheen's comedy just gets me. Like,
He's
he
a
was
funny guy.
He was
He is.
so good in comedy. Like,
Also, it's fair to point out that he played baseball in college, so when he
Okay.
pitches, he's about as realistic as you're going to get when it comes to a baseball pitcher in a Hollywood movie. Also, if you haven't seen Angels in the Outfield, in a long
I grew
time,
up with that one. Yeah.
It's crazy how many actors. Matthew McConaughey was in that movie.
Really?
Adrian Brody was in that movie, and they barely have any lines in it.
I'll have to go back and watch
I
it.
want to watch it as an adult because I don't remember it, but I remember the concept.
Yeah.
So I know I've seen it. I just
No,
don't
you've seen
remember
it.
it.
God is okay with you cheating as long as it's not the playoffs. That's
Yeah.
the concept.
That's the moral of the story.
God will help you cheat, but just not in the playoffs.
Red Snow said, "Can I get a Southern twang? Praise be to Space King from the ladies. Brett can be normal." Okay, they want you to say "Praise be to Space King."
I'm like, what does that
Best
mean?
Southern twang. I literally don't know. If you don't want to say it, that's fine. We'll move on.
I'm gonna give it a try. I'll just be cringe for all.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Praise be to Space King.
So are we supposed to add to it? Like,
I mean,
He wanted a
didn't-
southern accent.
He didn't say you had to
I guess
fake
I have
it,
one.
but like you already have one. So
Praise be to Space King.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
good.
Praise be to Space King.
There you go.
I don't
Thank you.
hear it. I'm numb to my own Southern accent.
Corey Anderson said, "You got a twang on that thing."
I got a twang on that thing. Oh, I like that.
That one's good. You got to twang on
I'm
that thing.
sure that Hawk to a Girl has already monetized that somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, see, that's a good example. When I think Southern, Hawk to a Girl.
Yep.
I don't sound like Hawk to a Girl.
No.
No.
We
But
don't.
maybe-
all. You gotta
Maybe
get
like
this-
she gets a stronger accent when she's drinking. So that's
bet
what-
she-
I've
that's
seen her
what it was.
sober, and it's like it. It's similar.
V Wit said beat boot bop. Thank you.
Ah,
Not that
yeah.
John Stewart said Mary abuses Brett. Brett berates chat. Chat cries.
It's a
It's
cycle
the
of abuse.
cycle of abuse.
It's the way it goes.
It's the circle of life. Courier626 said woo hostage party. We're having one.
That would be great, but we're on the way. We're not at the 4th crisis party yet, guys. Come on.
Like, what are you even
What are
doing?
you even doing?
Yesh said force of light, returning your shopping cart. Thoughts?
I think you
Oh,
should.
I always return my. Okay, two things, people.
Do you expect
always,
anything less from us? Come on, people.
Always return your shopping cart. And when you're in the gym, always unrack the machine, guys.
Absolutely.
And girls.
I don't go to the gym. What does that mean?
It means the rules of the gym are to take off the weights.
You don't leave the weights on.
But my gosh.
Wipe down your seat.
But my gosh, do I always come up in a what really ticks me off is when a man leaves and he sits there and watches me take off 4 of his 45s. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
He's
That's
doing
what I
that.
want to say.
It's a power grab. It's a power.
Oh,
grab.
it makes me so angry.
Yeah.
Like
he
a
likes
good,
to watch you struggle.
a good gentleman will come over even if he didn't do it and help.
They don't want to do that anymore though, because the moment they do, there's some camera on them, and then
I
they
love
look,
it. I'm like,
He's a creep in the gym. He's creeping on me.
Yep.
That's what they're afraid
Have you
of.
ever seen those? I love the videos. The one dude where he's walking and it's literally like a side scroller game. He's just dodging tripods. He's just walking between. He keeps
Oh
knocking
my
them
gosh,
over.
it's weird. Like
That is so
when I'm in the
weird.
gym, especially when I'm in the gym, like in the Atlanta area, it's always there are people. There's men. They've got cameras up. It's even men.
like you end up in their shot, like in the background.
Yes, you do.
You don't want to be in their
You're
shot.
like, I'm not trying to do this today, guy. Like, please stop.
Yeah, that's crazy that they wouldn't like ask for your permission or just like not do that.
They're just in their own little world,
Yeah.
filming themselves. It's weird.
yeah.
It's a weird time to be alive.
I don't
It
like
is.
I don't like the whole like gym culture because there's a lot of that.
I work out at home most of the time, truthfully.
That's probably the move at this point.
Because it's so peaceful.
Yeah.
Really.
Don't have
I
to
just
deal
go
with
do
these
my
people.
thing.
The rumbling said, Brat, he's referring to you.
Yes.
You turned the show around yesterday. This black pilling is what you get. We had no pressure valve yesterday.
Look! I'll turn this podcast right around too if you're not careful.
Behave. Gordon Shumway said hostage party. Gordon Shumway said hostage party again.
Listen, I'm just going to throw this out there. You can hold Force of Light Entertainment hostage any Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard
Absolutely.
Time. Come hold us
Come on.
hostage.
Yeah, and it doesn't overlap with our time slot.
Which is
So it's
perfect.
perfect.
So come on.
We'll stream raid you guys.
on, come
DCNC
on.
said 12 Monkeys TV is to movie like Chronicles is to T2.
Okay, so I love the 12 Monkeys television show with Aaron Stanford. I only saw it's the movie with Madeline Stowe. I only saw the movie once when I was very young, and then saw the show years later and really, really enjoyed it. It's one of those shows that I put on a couple of times since then and realized that if I was going to sit down and rewatch it, it would be a larger endeavor. But I'm going to have to rewatch the movie sometime soon because the movie was very, very prescient for its time. But yeah, the TV show is really, really good. Also, Aaron Stanford is a great example of like a guy who doesn't look like he would be a leading man on television, but he is. He's in Deadpool and Wolverine. He played Pyro.
Okay, yeah.
He usually does a lot of like leading man or at least second leading man in television. He just has a unique look. He's not what you think of when you think of like the typical standard type of Hollywood attraction. Like,
Yeah.
dude, that
you
women are
get
attracted
that
to.
more of television though.
Yeah.
And it works.
Red Snow said I'll only hold you guys at money thrower point.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know either.
What the hell does that mean? Explain yourself.
The super shot is either psychologically disturbing or it doesn't make any sense, but it's provocative.
Is that like a tennis term? Like match point in tennis? What are you talking
I don't
about?
know. Gordon Shumway said hostage party. We're on a roll. The last of my kind said howdy, y'all. Howdy. That's Danzatastic said, I'm in a meeting, but I want to assist the hostage party. Don't move, homies.
Thank you.
V-Wit said, watch Jingle All the Way this Christmas season.
Yes.
I love that
Did you
movie.
do
as
Oh, that's a
kid.
good one. That's
The
a really
Santa
good
Claus
one.
is really, really good too.
Yeah.
Is that with Tim Allen?
Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Don't watch the Polar Express.
I've never watched that.
Why?
I haven't either.
Stop hating on Polar Express. It wasn't part of your childhood.
Yes, it was. The book was. I was gifted
book.
that book from.
No, the
like,
movie.
Yeah, I
You're
know,
talking
but,
about the movie.
But the book is like, look, just the art. Just no, that CGI is creepy.
That's my favorite part.
The creepy CGI.
It wasn't creepy at the time because that's what all CGI looked like.
No, it did not. No.
Yeah, it did.
No.
What year was it?
I don't know. 2012, 8.
No, it was way. It was
Earlier?
probably way earlier than that. Let me look
Look
it
it
up.
up.
Polar Express.
It's Uncanny Valley
That's-
creepy. The eyes are all dead.
Okay.
I've never watched the movie, but I
There's too
grew up
much
with the
light
book.
in that story.
That
for
was the
Like the
technology
animation,
at the
yeah.
time.
It was interesting.
What-
I
what
do
year
remember
did it come
thinking
out?
that, like seeing it.
2004.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Like, you
Toy
couldn't-
Story was already a thing.
That's true.
Okay, so no.
The human characters in Toy Story, the first Toy Story, were also creepy
And
in that
it should
same
not-
way.
but it should
it
not
wasn't
have been-
creepy at the time because that's just
True.
what they had. Like that's just the technology was at that point, and I wish it never got better.
People in the chat will understand what I'm talking about when I mention that there was a Mortal Kombat made for like straight to DVD or straight to VHS movie that came with the movie when you bought it on VHS. Like it was like Mortal Kombat: The Journey Continues, and it's some of the worst animation you've ever seen in your entire life, and it's iconic and it's awesome because it's part of my childhood. So I guess I see your point, but that story is just there's so much life and love to that story that the eyes can't be dead. My personal opinion.
Whatever. Gordon Shumway said, what about Bull Durham? I once got a couple sets of candlestick holders for a wedding gift, and they didn't get the reference.
I've never seen.
We actually. Oh.
Fourth party. Thank you. This show. I went to a lot of Durham Bulls games when I lived in North Carolina, so I definitely knew of Bull Durham because they would reference it a ton, but never bothered.
We need to
watching
watch
it.
that
We
one.
actually are planning.
We've had requests.
We're planning on that next
Yeah.
April, guys.
Yes.
Okay, that's down the pipeline then.
Again, we try to be relevant
I do,
to the time.
I do.
I don't know if you should. I've heard only bad things about Bull
actually-
Durham, so
I asked Natalie before the show if you saw the movie The Hill, which was a baseball movie that came out last year.
No.
I would recommend that because it's faith based and it's really, really good.
I actually have heard of that,
Yeah.
and I only hear good things.
Yeah, it was good.
Yes.
And like I said, I went to the theater.
Is Dennis Quaid in
yes,
it?
Dennis Quaid's
Yes.
in it. So nobody went to the movie but me. It was basically empty. So
But the people that have brought it up have all liked it.
it was really good.
Incandescent said, "Love you guys. Does this money go straight to your pockets?
Literally, yes. Watch this.
You're putting it in your
In my
pocket.
pocket right now.
There
Thank
you go. But to answer your question, no. Just to be like transparent.
It is what
no.
it is you guys, the show has to make money. Otherwise, there's no reason for the company to keep making the show. So you guys keep the show on the air.
It's revenue
for
of
all of this.
the
So
company.
thank you all.
Pat the plumber said, Mary. So I guess in a certain sense, yes. Like it goes to our pockets. Pat the plumber said Mary doesn't return her shopping carts. Shame her, ladies.
You're not a
But do you?
non-returner.
Do
Okay.
you?
I mean, I definitely.
This is complicated, isn't it?
Yeah, let's break this down.
Yeah,
get
let's
into
get
it.
into this.
There have definitely been times where I didn't return my shopping cart. I just don't remember. But
Where did you leave it? This is important.
I don't know. Like probably like in a space, like I don't know. But or I like left it in front of the store.
Okay,
Or something like
well,
that.
if you push it up there,
That's
that's
really
fine.
not
But
bad,
I don't
though.
remember. And like I have already said this on the show, so I don't know why people still think I did this, but I said I lied about doing that to piss you off, guys. And it was a meme the whole time, but unfortunately some people have said they unsubscribed over it.
Oh,
And
man.
if it hits you that close to home, like I just need to tell you.
It's likely because the cart went flying. and hit
cart-
their car.
yes,
And that's why they
yes.
feel
That was
way.
the
But that
concern in
wasn't
my
me.
mind.
Like that wasn't me that did that to you. So I think now is the time to like just get that out in the open.
Let's forgive. You know,
There's nothing to forgive.
Yeah, she didn't do it.
I was just trying to be a rabble rouser. I was just trying to trigger you guys, and it worked.
Don't get to use rabble rouser in a sentence very often, so that was good.
Yeah. DCNC said, at the gym, ask the bear ladies. I think he's talking about women who said they would rather be stuck in the woods with a bear than a man.
Yeah.
What's your answer to that conundrum?
Well, see, when that was asked, I needed lots of information. I needed
The
to
point
know.
is to not
Right.
give you information.
Right.
Though.
I needed to
it's
know.
a gut response.
Like, does
You
the
gotta-
man have a he's gonna murder me vibe, and is the bear like a panda bear? You know what? What is the
Right,
scenario here? Is it cute and cuddly little bear, or is it a big grizzly that's going to eat me? You know, I'm going to go with the man if it's I'm going to just take my chances with the man.
I'm definitely taking my chances with the man.
I'm 100%
Yeah.
taking it.
Could always just
Bear or Bear Grylls?
Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That Stanzatastic said, here, another don't effing move, bruh.
Bruh.
We're not moving.
We're not moving.
Oh, oops,
We're
I
staying
have
here.
That. I'm gonna be. Oh, you meant move. I thought they meant physically moving.
We're not allowed to leave the studio. Gordon Shumway said, let's go?
Let's go.
Question mark? Let's go. Potatoes for Seamus said, happy Thursday, Brett. Don't get short with us. We just might not like and subscribe.
Take that as a threat. Take that as a
The
threat.
tension.
Take that as hate speech.
It was.
Watch
Sorinko Productions said, People's Joker actually hasn't been completely erased, Brett. Managed to put it on X before it disappeared.
Look, I'm just gonna be honest. I don't want to watch it anymore. Okay? It's,
Should we just do this?
What is the
Let me
People's
find-
Joker?
No, I don't want to do it.
Let me find it. It's okay. So there is a
No,
movie.
unless a 20 comes in, we're not reigniting this whole thing unless a 20 comes in requesting it. You know the rules.
We've gotten well over 20 in just hostage chats.
Nope.
So-
Sorry, this is the rules. I don't make them.
Well, I don't know.
That's the bottom line, you guys.
I don't have the original.
If I'm going to be subjected to it
Trailer.
again, there will be a 20 in there.
Is it good? Is it funny?
It's neither.
Oh.
But why would it have been erased from the internet?
Because they took it down off the YouTube channel that it was on.
Well, you're gonna have to tag popculture_show on X and post it again if you want us to find it. Corey Anderson said, "Turn the podcast around, Bread. I dare you." We just got 2 20s. V Wit said, "Bear over grills, less chance of dying, less." What is this? Stroud?
And then Potatoes for Seamus says, "Play it, Brett." Well, we have to find it first. Somebody tag.
I don't know where it is. You have to tag Brett and tag the show on X.
Checking.
I keep.
Yep, here it is. Potatoes for Seamus. Or
it there?
Serenco Productions sent it to me. All right, ladies. So you'll be able to see it on that monitor over there. Again, what are the rules here to stop it?
What was it again? It was 50. What, 50 to stop it?
50 to stop it.
Okay.
That way, that pretty much ensures us not stopping it. So here you go, ladies. Get ready for the People's Joker. This movie came out last year.
Hi, I'm Vera Drew, and 3 months ago, comedian Brie LaRose dared me to re-edit Todd Phillips' Joker. Now, I'm an Emmy-nominated editor who works primarily with Tim and Eric, so I could give you your standard alt-comedy Joker remix with fart sound effects and rhythmic cuts over nightmare drones, and you'd gobble it up, wouldn't you little piggy? But I'm currently unemployed and stupidly ambitious, so for the past 3 months, I've been writing a feature-length screenplay called The People's Joker. Utilizing clips from the 2019 Oscar contender, footage from other iterations of Joker's past, and just movies that feature clowns, as well as additional footage that I'll be shooting in the privacy of my own bedroom, I'm creating an entirely new feature film. You heard me right, this is my feature film acting debut, and I will be portraying both Harley Quinn and the Joker. Using these characters, which I definitely don't own the rights to, I will be sharing the story of my transition and how I overcame mental illness and the cycle of abuse that I was stuck in a few years ago. It's your standard queer coming-of-age story, only it takes place in the Batman universe. But wait, that's not all. I'm a huge fan of Suicide Squad, so The People's Joker will not only be the first film to feature a trans woman playing the Joker, it will also prominently feature Jared Leto's seminal portrayal of the clown prince of crime. And no, I don't have his permission to use his likeness. I plan on using deepfakes, but the way I see it, this can be his way of apologizing to the trans community for Dallas Buyers Club. Plus, Jared, baby, look, everybody knows you were pissed Todd didn't cast you in his Joker. Don't sue me, be in mine. And you know what? I misspoke. this isn't just my Joker. This is our Joker. That's right, I'm opening up the creative process to any and all quarantined artists, musicians, filmmakers, or actors who want to contribute to my vision. Do you want to design this film's Gotham City? Visit thepeoplesjoker.com. Do you want to play the fucking Penguin? Then visit thepeoplesjoker.com. Do you want to record a cover of Small Town Boy by Bronxy Beat that'll be playing over a Wolf of Wall Street style montage about the drug use that I was engaging in my early 20s to numb my gender dysphoria?
Wow.
Peoplesjoker.com. Warner Brothers legally won't be able to sue us if we all work on this together, and what could be more Joker-like than copyright infringement? Plus, I don't want to make a dime off this. I'm doing this for my mental health, to share my story using two of my favorite characters of all time and connect with other artists who are sad and broken because of this fucking pandemic. Oh, by the way, if you're a
Someone
distributor who has
come
any
through with
ideas
that
on how to release
$50 super chat.
please get in touch with me. I really want to premiere this thing on July 4th, our failed nation's birthday, because, well, I know I'm not the first person to say this, but this country needs an enema, and the People's Joker is the very rectal bulb syringe that can do the job. So visit thepeoplesjoker.com today.
I will say that
I like the unsure face of
I will say that there's actually a strong performance there.
Yeah,
like there's
something there.
There's a good amount of stage presence and comedic timing. I'll give them that.
All right.
I did chuckle a couple times, truthfully.
So there you have it, Chad. They're never coming back. Are you happy? Thought that Jon Stewart said money thrower because YouTube won't let you say pew pew machine.
Money gun.
Yes.
Gun.
Pew pew.
Gun.
Red Snow said, I'm a meat cutter at a grocery store. Return your freaking cart, Mary. I can't stand hearing them ask over the speaker to return carts. I think you'll live, buddy. Shane H. Wilder said 30 episodes till 700. I'm already planning out the 700 short. I've got an interesting idea. Oh no, I've said too much. Steals into the night.
We'll have to wait. Gosh, 30 episodes away from 700 already.
You look beaten down. What is happening?
The lights aren't working.
Is this a party?
We're like,
Is this a party? I guess I'm dancing.
It just isn't the same without the cop lights behind
Wait,
us.
was that the fifth? Was that
Yes.
the fifth party?
That was the fifth one.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I don't know. My MK Ultra trigger
Yeah.
wasn't there. Okay, now the lights are. This is the Cashman curse.
Something's off.
Okay.
I'm not dancing this
I'm
second.
not dancing this time
Free
either.
party. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Right. Corey Anderson said Christmas Ranch is the worst movie ever. Watch it. They want you to react
Christmas
to it.
Ranch? Okay, I've never heard of
That
it.
sounds really, like it would be that.
It does.
I'm intrigued.
V. Witt said Jingle All the Way was Arnold and Sinbad.
Yes.
Yes, it
Good,
was.
good movie.
It was.
Boosted
Turbo
Yogi
Man.
said, I've noticed it's immigrants that lack gym etiquette as of late. Okay.
Russians?
He went real specific on that.
Russians,
Wow.
Eastern European too.
Shane H. Wilder said, no, Santa Claus versus the Martians is worse.
I still haven't watched my Trump vs. Aliens movie that Luke gave me for Christmas.
Oh,
Yeah.
do that.
I should watch that. Trump vs. Aliens. It's got a picture on the cover. It's just a generic looking alien and Donald Trump and like the planet behind them.
Trump's like, he died like a dog.
Yeah.
I mean, he did create Space Force, so there's
Why
precedent
does
here.
he always says something like a dog, like in a way that makes no sense? Like Joe Biden choked like a dog. Like
Do dogs usually choke?
At this point, at this point with that, it should be like, he died like a dog. Ask Kristen Noem, she knows.
Is it too soon?
It's too
No, it's not too soon.
soon. Poor Fluffy. Mary Morgan was uncomfortable as hell during Deadpool 3. Said Sydney Sweeney has sad eyes and a great rack.
I mean, are they sad eyes or are they just like angled a certain way?
They're downturned eyes.
They're downturned. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's part of what
Kind of
gives her
Betty
a
Boop
unique look. Yeah,
kind of eyes.
That's true.
Manic Mustache said, with all of these beautiful women in studio, who is in the kitchen watching the bread? Stay toxic, my friends, and take my money.
See, do you guys really want to any of our audience? That's the real question.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll take you guys. Come on. Come on.
We will domesticate them and
We
turn them
will.
into gentlemen. That's
They'll
what
come back. And we'll have these
work
little-
on them.
They'll come back one day to our show and be like, "What? Why was I watching this? This is insane. It's so uncouth."
They really are uncouth.
And
They'll come back and they're like, Mary, you look stunning today. Brett, good to see you, fine sir.
Quite dapper.
men.
Corey Anderson said, Brett and Mary, both of your dads need to start a podcast called Parents of PCC.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Other than no. Potatoes for Seamus said, Brett, do you wear Mary's shirts?
Only on Wednesdays.
Okay.
Pink.
The Last of My Kind said, I asked last week, you work R&D for Taco Bell. What's your dream creation? My current idea, Baja Blast pre-workout.
I had
no.
like I broke my no soda ban recently when I went in. I told you I went into a Taco Bell like inside. Like it was a very harrowing experience. It wasn't just a Taco Bell. It was a
Yeah.
Taco Bell KFC.
But like, why
So
didn't
depressing.
why didn't you just go through the drive-through?
Because Olivia has such a complicated order, she doesn't want to do it over the intercoms.
You can't do a complicated order at KFC Taco Bell. That's not.
No.
You can't do it.
But you can. Anyways, so like we went in and I was like, I was like, you know what? I'm inside Taco Bell. I'm getting a Baja Blast. So I got a small, and I'll tell you.
She loves
I love those.
And I will tell you,
Happy hour, yes.
inflation is hitting because, like, back in the day, the joke used to be like even a medium was like the size of a gallon drum. Now the medium was just
The
like,
medium is a small.
tiny.
Shrinkflation.
And that's the one.
It's depressing.
You guys, 2 to 5 Taco Bell happy hour. You can get them for $1. Any of the frozen drinks, just FYI.
That's
Nice.
Natalie's happy
It's the
hour.
best advice anybody's given on this podcast.
Wait,
Thank you. I thought
2
it
to
could be
5?
useful.
Right while we're
It
working.
is 2 to 5.
even on the
yeah.
weekends?
Yes, every day.
Okay. Interesting.
Go off.
Noted. Okay, is this a party or not?
Right? Yep. No. Trudy Jones for $200 says, "Wow, I didn't need to make you guys continue it. Here's $200 anyways."
Thank you.
It is, yes, thank you, Trudy Jones. Trudy Jones is usually the one who saves us from people's Joker. So thank you, Trudy.
Sorry if I missed that chat. I'm kind of... There's a lot going on. Pat the Plumber said, not buying it, Mary. Okay, so now you're just going to believe that story forever. But I mean, I can't stop you if that's what you want to
Forever.
believe. V. Witt said, oh no, I already read that one. Gordon Shumway, sure, Mary, we believe your rabble raising, just like your don't beat Brett, just like you don't beat Brett. Stay strong, Brett. Blink if you're under duress.
Look, there's all sorts of shelters and places I can go. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
She
Battered
said it was the
podcaster.
last time.
Battered podcasters.
And to be fair, Mary's going to be gone next week until
Friday.
So I've got a whole week just free. It's going to be, I can breathe again.
You're doing the show by yourself?
No, okay. So I'm actually going to be out of town Monday and Tuesday. The show picks up again on Wednesday next week, guys. So there will be no show on Monday and Tuesday. We will put out community posts on those days to remind you.
They're going to be so mad. And Mary Morgan was uncomfortable as hell during Deadpool 3. Said, Natalie, Mary, Sweeney, who has the best rack, Brett?
That's just rude.
That's
just rude.
That's not, we're not answering that question.
That's very, very rude.
I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable.
It's
Okay.
We apologize.
I am sorry about them. They will get a stern talking to as soon as you leave. Brian Bledsoe said hostage party for abandoning us yesterday.
Thank
LOL.
you. Yeah, I suppose that is true. We did abandon them yesterday.
Red Snow said, how far can we go, crisis actors? Let's go.
It's getting there. Look, if these ladies never come back, it's your fault. Not ours. Your fault.
Serenko Productions said, let's go. Thanks, Brett. LOL. This is punishment for missing yesterday.
Again, blame the weather. Okay?
Blame
the
Debbie.
weather.
Blame it on the rain.
It's Debbie's
There,
fault.
exactly. That's exactly whose fault.
Can't sing, yeah.
View-It said, we broke their studio. Keep it up, boys.
That is true. 2 more. Let's get through it.
Okay, Brian Bledsoe said, Mary, don't return her carts. Unsubscribe. Oh, she's joking.
Yes. 2 more there.
Red Snow said, we have the technology. We can make chat better.
I mean, they do have the technology. It's called mods. We just don't,
We don't have mods.
Yeah.
We probably should, but we don't. Not that John Stewart said, we are so not getting ice cream on the ride home.
Not at all, guys. All right. Before we go, ladies and gentlemen, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you just unsubscribed because of what Mary said about carts? Subscribe to the channel, please, everyone.
We have another $100 super chat from Valiant Renegade. He said, you finally got good guests.
Oh, yes, Valiant.
We love you,
Self-deprecating
Valiant.
humor, though.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is that our 8th party?
That'll be 8, yes.
Okay, and we have another one from Shane H. Wilder. Since Mary is not going to be here on her birthday, happy birthday. And what was the rest of that?
Oh, let's scroll across there. Hold on.
Since I made Brett a birthday card, you'll have one too.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. I'll keep an eye out for that.
All right.
Surprised you remembered that.
And ladies, thank you so much for joining us today.
It really was
us.
a pleasure. Thank you so much.
If you guys want to
We
shout
believe
anything
you.
else, yes. We totally believe that you're not just ready to leave.
Had a great time.
If you guys want to
really
shout
was.
out anything on social media,
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely check us out at Forceful Entertainment on YouTube. We do movie reactions, movie reviews. We also have a live stream every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where we will turn you fine people into forces of light.
We,
And
listen,
then-
listen,
Right
chat.
now,
We
the
want to help.
crisis actors are forces of darkness, and they need to be trained into being forces of light.
we will train you in the way of light. So definitely come, but we
They will
also
come back, new men.
Yes, we just
Thankfully.
put out our first time watching reaction of Blazing Saddles. Go check it out. And we also just started our Patreon where you can get the full unedited reaction to all of our first time watching reactions, and that includes Blazing Saddles in all of its glory.
awesome. Anything? I guess personal social medias, anything like that?
My personal pretty much is Forceful Entertainment on X, Twitter. I refuse to always call it X.
Twix.
Twix,
yeah.
that's what
Yes, and then also you can follow me at Michelle34Smith on Instagram, and I have the Force of Light Entertainment account as well.
And I am Natalie R. Grace on Twitter and Nat Loves Bella 07 on Instagram.
Perfect. All right, Mary.
We have more super chats. Gordon Shumway said, great, we're going to get a stern talking to. That just means Mary is going to take it out on Brett. You can only fall down the stairs so many times before the people stop believing you, Brett.
Look, everybody I know runs into at least one door in their life. Okay, it happens.
I'm dancing. I'm dancing through the lies. This is slander.
It is slander. You guys are very rude to Mary, obviously. She would never do anything like that.
She is a good woman.
But you tempt me. You tempt me. Red Snow said, epic show. Love y'all. Everyone was awesome. Except the chat. The Rumbling said Brett literally went climate change.
I don't even know what that means in this context.
Yeah.
I don't know
I don't know
either.
what that means.
High Voltage 75 said, happy birthday month, Mary.
Birthday
Thank you.
months are are banned here. We don't do birthday months. It's narcissistic. Okay, you get a day.
Maybe
That's
I want to
enough.
be a little narcissistic. Is that gonna ruin your week?
Yes.
I'm like, do it, girl.
yes.
It's your month.
YOLO.
It's Leo season.
Oh man. SZN.
Yes, it's Leo SZN. Pat the Plumber said, you did ask me to rally the troops, Brett.
That is true. I did.
He came through. Valiant Renegade said you got Nat to wear headphones.
Yes.
It's
Is this
true.
rare for you?
Oh, that's a first.
It's a first. To this moment, I have no idea what my hair looks like, but I am journeying through it.
Okay, are we all caught up?
We're
on
all
the
caught up.
Super
Now
Chats?
get to your socials before we get out of here.
Okay. You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. We have
One more.
another super chat from Not That John Stewart. The doorknob is just Mary fist sized. It's a coincidence. Duck and weave, Brett. They gave you some advice on how to avoid my punches. We have another from The Rumbling. No show yesterday. Climate change. Climate change is actually, the reason why you guys didn't get a show yesterday. So don't blame us. Blame Debbie and blame Al Gore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Guys, if you would like to follow me, Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you would prefer to listen rather than watch this show. If you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and not TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Mary, there's a couple more there.
Steve Kralik said the Timcast Media makeup department does a great job hiding the many bruises Mary gives Brett.
Guys, quit the slander.
Okay, we've got another one from Not That John Stewart. Real hostage party now?
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with another episode on Wednesday. We will see you then, guys. Bye.
Bye.